I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 62 of Tales from Godric's Hollow, the world's longest Harry Potter podcast, if we're only counting last week's episode, because, woo, that was a humdinger of an episode, wasn't it? That was a lot of talking. We're going to try to keep it shorter this week. We'll see how that goes. A lot of things could happen. I am one of your hosts. I am the muggle of the show. I am Josh Brown. As always, I am joined by the man who just can't stop me from talking, Professor Matt Sonnenberg. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Josh.
You try.
I do, sometimes.
Last week, just got away from
No,
us.
just let you go. It's like, all right, talk about Santa for 15 minutes, sure.
There was a point in last week's episode where
I understand.
we
Yep.
looked at the clock and I said, you know what? We're actually doing really good for time, considering all things considered, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Then that second chapter hit, and it was downhill from there, man.
It went every which way.
Yeah. You know, I hope the people out there listening at least enjoyed the episode. It may have taken them all week to listen to it. Some people might not even be done with the episode yet. But it was one of our better ones, which is surprising considering how awful the chapters were that we were talking about.
Make lemons out of lemonade, right? Wait a minute. Make lemonade out of lemons. There we go. Wow.
I mean,
Great start.
yeah, I don't know how you make your lemons, Matt, but yeah, so thank you all for putting up with us last week. This week, let me just say this. I'm in no mood. Not any particular mood, I should say. Like, I'm just yeah.
I'm not surprised.
And I just got done reading it too. I'm not fired up. I'm not angry about anything. I'm not excited. I'm not emotional. I'm not anything. I'm just here for the show, man.
All right.
That's all you're gonna get out of me tonight.
That's fine. That's
Woo.
fine. I'll take it.
We'll have fun. We'll put on a good show.
We will.
I don't want people to expect the brilliance of last week to continue on this week. You know,
Fair enough.
that's a high bar we set last week. We're just gonna crawl under it tonight. Getting started. Where are we getting started? Boy, Friday was a hoot, wasn't it?
Friday?
Yeah, this last Friday,
Yeah.
a few days ago.
It was.
Yeah, September 1st.
I mean, you were at a wedding,
The
but
day of infamy. The day that will...
you have no idea what was going on.
The day that will live on in our minds and hearts forever.
Yes.
Both good, both bad. It's just ooh, emotionally challenging all around. You know, it just... all the people that were involved or not involved, and just everything, man. September 1st. What can I say about September 1st?
Yeah, what can you say?
Nothing! Nothing at all.
I didn't think so.
No, I do appreciate people still telling me on that day to, like, telling me on social media not to go on social media seems like the most backwards thing to do.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the reminders, though. Because I did wake up on Friday, September 1st, and
Instinctively go to social media.
no, I didn't. But there was nothing necessarily stopping me from doing so. I didn't wake up thinking, well, off limits today. It was just another Friday. You know? I didn't have to work, so it wasn't just another Friday. But the reminders did sink in quickly, though, and I was like, you know what? Okay, I got this. I can do this. So I made it through unscathed.
Perfect.
Yes.
It's for the best. You will understand one day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was good, you know? It was just a normal Friday for me. But for everybody out there, however you were emotionally impacted by the day, good, bad, or indifference, good job getting through it.
I think it's safe to say most people had a good time.
I hope so.
The people I talked to, they were celebrating in appropriate fashion.
Which is...
You'll find out.
Oh, Matt, we were so close to me learning out. Okay, all right, fair enough, Matthew. Marissa, I want to give a special shout out to Marissa.
Yeah?
Right. Big fan of Marissa.
Sure. Headmistress.
Yeah, the one in charge of this thing that we got going on here. It's quickly going into the side of a mountain. I appreciate her tweets from this weekend to us.
Yep.
And the Harry Potter night at what I presume to be a minor league baseball game?
I believe that's what she said it was, yeah.
Okay. Did we talk about this? I feel like we talked about this. She
mentioned it in her email last week that she was going.
Okay, and then you were confused by the fact that there was a Harry Potter night at Little League. Or not Little League, minor league.
Yes.
Okay.
Little League, honestly, would probably make more sense to me.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
But
okay, so we did talk about it.
Yep, that's what we were talking about.
Because I saw the pictures come through, which were fantastic. But then I had, like, that weird feeling of deja vu, like... Let's see, minor league baseball game, Harry Potter night. I feel like we've gone... Has she sent these pictures before? I got a little bit confused. No surprise to anybody, I'm sure. However, looks like she had fun.
Yeah, sounds like it was a good time.
She didn't say if the snitch actually got caught or not, so...
Yeah.
Still kind of need those answers.
I know she does touch on the Harry Potter night this week in her email this week.
Okay.
I don't know if she addresses the snitch.
Well, as she's listening to this, she will know whether or not she addressed that in her email. Yep. And she'll probably be sending in a correction email as she listens to this. So let's just throw that out there in the universe.
Sounds like a plan.
Last week we announced a new giveaway along with the launch of our new Facebook page.
Yep.
We also announced the bonus giveaways of the bookmarks.
Yes.
I don't remember what all was happening with all of them specifically. So you want to give me a quick rundown of what exactly we promised to give away and
yes.
And why one of those things isn't happening.
Yeah. Rub it in a little more.
I'm going to enjoy this until we stop recording tonight, Matt.
Anyway, the bonus giveaway, yes, the bookmarks.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you're hearing this episode, that offer is going to be over. So just to let everybody know, I haven't sent any bookmarks out yet. So you don't worry, they're still on their way. I will be sending them out this week. And then for our other normal giveaway, I had announced that we're giving away a Lockhart wand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Turns out I can't do that.
Yep.
If you listened to Josh's addendum last week, he explains the whole thing and has a little too much fun with it. But
look, you texted me like what, half hour after we were done recording last week, and
was it that soon?
Yeah. I mean, I was still up, and you were still up, which surprised me. It might have even been sooner than that. I don't know. It was pretty quickly after we were done.
Sure.
And you're like, I messed up. You know, and that's karma, Matt. It really is. I'm just saying. You know, you tried to set up something hilarious and fun, and you offered to like you're like, we need to re-record, we need to edit the podcast. I'm like, nope, because Your joke was solid. It'll get some good laughs. We need to keep that in there. But I need to record something else to let the people know that they're not going to be getting their wand.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We changed it, and you'll still be getting a wand, but it's going to be a wand of your choice of something that they actually created.
Yeah. A wand, not the wand.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So how do people enter this giveaway here, Matt?
To enter, all they had to do was like our brand new Facebook page.
Wow, simple as that, huh?
Simple as that.
What is that Facebook page, by the way?
That Facebook page is facebook.com/Tales from Godric's Hollow.
All right. So I guess we should pick a winner from that, huh?
We should.
How many people are we choosing from?
We have a whopping 68 entries.
Wow. Does that include my own entry?
I think that probably does.
Sweet. Let's hope for the best here. If I win a wand, Matt, what wand am I going to pick? Which wand?
Probably another Death Eater.
Look, okay, some things happened. Boy. That's a big number to choose from, Matt.
It is.
Let's see.
I think it's probably the biggest number we've ever had for one single giveaway.
How do I pick this number? I am at a loss here. Let's just go to a random number generator. Let's just do it fairly. There's no numbers sticking out in my head about anything from these
from these chapters.
No, nothing really.
Yeah, not too much.
Yeah. Let's see.
I can think of one number, but
that would be bad for you to pick the number.
It's true.
68, you said, right?
68.
Okay, let's generate this number here. And the winner is 52.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Count backwards.
Oh, yeah. So it's what? Okay. You said 52?
52, my friend. 52. That's a good solid Harry Potter number if I've ever seen one. There's 52 cards in a deck. I'm sure wizards like to have fun with Muggle playing cards. Is there like a wizard form of like poker? If there's wizard chess, man, do wizards have their own playing cards?
Well, they have Exploding Snap, and that's a card game.
Sure.
I don't know, like it's never really been described like what's on the cards, so maybe they kind of look like our cards or something. But
man, could you imagine?
Like, I don't know how to. Like the only problem is I think they explode. So
sure, but like the king and queen like coming to life on the card and like battling it out. Man, they have so much fun. I need to.
It like basically think of it like augmented reality, but yeah, actual.
Sure,
like you don't need anything to augment it. It's just there
because wizards and magic and stuff.
Yeah. So it looks like our winner is going to be Christy Burke.
Christy Burke, congratulations, and thank you for liking us on Facebook.
Thank you indeed.
I'm sure Matt will be getting a hold of you, probably via Facebook, I imagine.
Something like that, yeah. I guess that, yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, I will message you on Facebook if you don't message me first.
Yeah, Christy Burke, if you haven't heard from Matt, by the time you're listening to this podcast, send us an email, talesfromgodric's@gmail.com. Say, hey, I'm Christy Burke. I'd like to cash in on my new prize. A wand of your choice.
Sounds good.
I demand to know what Christy Burke chooses as her wand.
Oh yeah, we'll let you know for sure.
Okay. So congratulations to Christy. Thank you to everybody that went over to Facebook and liked the new page. Hope that's working out well for everybody. I don't know, Matt, what you've been up to over on that Facebook page of yours, but I'm sure it's going good, right?
It seems to be.
Okay.
People seem to like it.
Sure.
And they're liking the posts that go up there, so I will slowly be rolling out more content for that, but
Sure.
Yeah, seems to be off to a good start.
People do like their Facebook, don't they?
They do.
I can't blame them. It's a good way to stay connected with people, I suppose. Boy. Trying to delay the inevitable, but I really can't delay it any further, Matt.
All right. Let's get to it then.
Yeah, well, okay. Stick around for the end of the show. We got another giveaway. Another surprise giveaway.
It's true.
So, knock on wood, that works out.
It'll work, I promise.
We have the Muggle poll.
I have control over this one.
It still doesn't give me any confidence whatsoever. Emails. It's going to be a good show. A fun show. But we're going to start where we always do with this week's reading. And this week, wow, a lot of W and R sounds there. This week, we are reading chapters 24 and 25? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have it wrong in my notes, but yes, that's right.
Okay, chapters 24 and 25 of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix? Yeah.
There you go.
Boy, my head just glitched out a little bit, and I forgot what.
We've been in this book too long.
I
should have started another book by now.
Okay. Also, real talk. I have now completed my Harry Potter Blu-ray collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if have we ever discussed this.
Like which ones you're buying?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like we've discussed the covers.
Yeah, the collector's edition special covers.
Yeah, because it's a set of Blu-rays that I don't have.
Right.
Because they came out recently.
Right. Well, they're hard to get now.
I believe it.
They're extremely hard to get, and I should have just bought them all when they came out, but I was like, I'll just get them as it comes time to get them. Yeah,
it was your form of self-restraint, basically.
Sure. Well,
like if they're not in the house, I can't watch them.
I think going into Goblet of Fire, when I went to go get that one, is when I realized that, these aren't everywhere in stores like they were several months ago. This is a problem. So I went online and started trying to find out how to buy them. Turns out they're just extremely hard to find.
Awesome.
So over the last month or so, I've been tracking down all of them just to get them all because I'm not going to have half of a set.
Exactly. You can't have a mishmash of
So 2 days ago, I got the final one.
Okay.
Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yep.
Yeah. With that symbol on it.
That symbol, yes.
And it made me mad, Matt. Because I looked at the cover and said, I don't understand it. Now, to be fair, I don't understand the covers of the next few movies either.
It's true.
At all. They make no sense to me. But this one, at least I have...
you've seen it before.
I recognize it, but I don't know what it is, which makes me more mad. And then I'm thinking, this is the last movie? I have to wait this long to find out what this symbol is? I'm dying, Matt.
Yep.
It's a long journey ahead, folks. We are only in book 5 still.
Hey, we're over halfway. Just keep that in mind.
Just feels like it's never going to end. Anyway, Blu-ray collection is done. It's complete. So, look out, world. Gonna marathon these in a couple years when I'm allowed to.
There you go.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, chapter 24.
Chapter 24. Do you want to give it a shot?
Oh wow, you're gonna let me say the name of the chapter this week?
Yeah.
Occlumency.
There you go.
Is that
very
right?
good? Yeah, Occlumency.
Okay. I don't like it. It has a bad mouthfeel saying that word.
It does very much. I've never really been a fan of the word, and it's honestly not said out loud much at all.
Mm-mm.
So you don't get to hear it a lot.
Poor Val. I mean, she had to say it like 15 times this chapter.
I'm sure she
Like,
did.
she just looked up at one point. She said, that, "Why do I need to keep saying this word?"
Although, to be perfectly honest, I prefer occlumency over the other word. You remember that one?
No.
Yeah. Legilimency.
Oh, ugh. That's gross too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one, like, I actually always pronounced different until I heard it in the movies, and then again in Fantastic Beasts. Like, it's mentioned, and it's like, okay, how do you say this? I always have to remind myself because it's not how I want to say it.
Yeah.
So
then you throw in accents and everything, and it's a mess.
yes. Yeah.
Chapter 24, Occlumency.
You got it.
Yeah.
No new characters.
Thank goodness. I can only do that one chapter per week, Matt.
Yeah?
Yeah. We got a bunch in the next chapter.
Not a bunch.
A bunch, Matt. We got a new professor. We got new bad guys. We got all kinds of new things. You kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure the vast majority of those we've met before.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
All right.
That's next chapter. This chapter.
Yep.
Started off very strangely. Talking about Creature. And I was like, hold on, wait a second. Where did we end up the last chapter? Because I don't remember talking about Creature last chapter. I mean, not at the end, at least.
Not at the end, but it's because they didn't know where he was. They couldn't find him. Like,
Yeah.
Sirius called for him to help make breakfast, and like he just wasn't there. And it's like, well, he's probably off in the attic or the basement or something. And
Sure. I didn't know. I forgot they were looking for him at the end of the chapter. I think I was distracted by the professor who shall not be named being a part of the very end.
You were definitely distracted.
Yeah. So, like, starting off this chapter with Creature, I'm like, hold on. We need to skim back a couple paragraphs. I need to, recenter myself on what's going on. So Creature's being weird. He's being not horrible.
Yeah, in a way, I guess.
I mean, I don't want to go as far as to say he's being pleasant.
No, I don't think he'll ever be pleasant.
He's just not horrible.
Yeah.
Which is weird for him.
There was a definite change in his demeanor, I guess.
He got a little pep in his step.
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, whatever. Creature be creeping, Come to find out, a little bit later in the reading, I have a serious hunch as to why he's feeling a little bit better about things in his weird life that he lives.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now, I can't say for sure how he would know this at this point, unless he was involved with it, which, look, I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm just saying. I don't trust that house elf as far as I can throw him. And
yeah.
I could throw a house elf, Matt. So more on that later. More on that. Just put a pin in that one, We get the pleasure of having a conversation with Professor Severus Snape outside of Hogwarts.
Yes.
This frightens me. Frightens Harry.
Yeah.
And the trio, like,
what did we do now?
like, what are we in trouble for? Like, this is gonna be really weird.
Like like, just expecting the first thing you walk downstairs, and it's like, Potter did it. It had to be Potter.
Just getting blamed for something. Yeah, I mean, okay, so he comes and goes from the headquarters frequently, I guess. I don't know how often. Whenever he shows up, he doesn't ever stay.
Yeah, I think it was a little more frequent during the summer.
Okay.
Now that he's back at Hogwarts,
Sure.
where he's supposed to be teaching, like, I don't think he probably stops by nearly as often.
Right.
But still on a probably semi-regular basis.
I guess my point is...
Maybe once in a fortnight.
Once a fortnight. It's not out of the ordinary for Snape to be there. What is unusual is Snape wanting to talk to Harry Potter while he's there.
Yes. Well, I think the kids usually try to avoid him, but he would also rather not talk to them either.
Oh, he avoids them as much as he can. Let's be real.
Yeah.
He hates kids.
Mutual disdain.
So it turns out, by order of Dumbledore, that Snape is to give Harry Potter extra lessons after school.
Yeah.
For magical defense against the external penetration of the mind?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right? AKA Occlumency.
Occlumency, yes.
Basically, it's to strengthen the resistance of Harry Potter from keeping bad guys like Voldy out of his mind, which people... Well, again, this whole weird thing of, like, was he possessed? Was he not possessed? We don't know, but he definitely has, like, this connection to Voldy. Is it mentally? Is it emotion? Like, what level is he connected at? There's a lot of gray area here.
So, how I take it is, like, this order is coming from Dumbledore.
Yeah.
So, allegedly. Dumbledore, once again, may not know exactly what's going on, but this is one of those educated guesses.
Mm-hmm.
And in the past, like we've seen and they've mentioned, Dumbledore's hunches are usually pretty accurate.
Sure.
So he doesn't know exactly what's going on, but he knows, like, it needs to be stopped.
Right.
Because it could get a lot worse.
Yeah.
And this should help.
Best case, it works like a charm.
Yes.
Worst case, he learned something that he may not be needing right now, but still could potentially need down the road.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a good skill to have.
Yeah.
Like, and this is, I guess one of the things I kind of like about Snape is that he knows these rare bits of magic that your average professor doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dumbledore, yeah, he probably could teach him as well, but he's busy with whatever he's busy with.
Right.
So he pawns it off on Snape. Fine. But like, there's, I don't know if there'd be another professor at Hogwarts who would be able to actually teach him this, because they probably haven't studied it. They don't know what they're doing with it.
Right.
So it's just kind of like how Snape has perfected the art of potion making. Like he knows his potions, and then he knows these other just weird things.
Yeah.
That, like, he admits it's an odd bit of magic that not a lot of people know about, not a lot of people care about, but it has its perks.
Yeah. I feel like he's just trying to prove his worth for the next Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher job to open up.
That's true. Yeah. I suppose, yeah, normally you would probably enlist the Defense Against Dark Arts teacher to teach this.
Right.
But this year, it's not such good. I mean, she's not going to teach him anything.
No. And he even makes a comment, like, we need to keep this from Dumbridge as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Which, shout out to Snape. You know, like, him and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things here. But I do have to appreciate his disdain for that woman as well.
Yeah, because he's like, tell no one, especially, like, he singles her out.
Yeah.
Like, do not tell her.
This will be bad. You know, and we'll get to this a little bit later, but it also slightly worries me that he's giving Harry Potter one-on-one lessons, and he already has like this alibi set up for what Harry's supposed to tell people if they see him going to Snape's classroom after like all these
remedial potions,
right? You know, and he's like, look, if anybody asks you, like, they're totally going to believe you, especially if they've seen you in my class. Like, you're really bad at potions, Harry. Like, this is not going to, you know, freak out anybody here. But he's just too slick with all of this, you know? And it worries me that he's doing these one-on-one lessons. I think he was, like, oddly, weirdly trying to connect with Harry Potter by, like, purposely referencing Dumbridge, you know, like, please, you know, make sure you don't tell that awful woman. And Harry's like, yeah, she's totally awful, right? You know, and they, like, bond and high-five each other and whatever. It just, I don't know, like, it gives me an uneasy feeling. And as we start doing the lessons and everything, you know, it makes me more cautious about what's going on. I just, right off the bat, something seems off with all of this, you know? Yeah. It's Snape. I have little reason still at this point to fully trust this dude.
Dumbledore trusts him.
I know. And you
can't trust Dumbledore. Who can you trust?
Yeah, I know. But I don't know. Dumbledore has a lot going on. And I'm just going to throw this out here, okay? And we'll talk about it more so. But we actually don't 100% know that Dumbledore asked Snape to do this.
True.
All we have is Snape's word.
Very true.
Saying Dumbledore asked me to do this for him.
Yeah. You know, Snape in this instance is at least claiming to be playing messenger.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in this situation, I could see it making sense. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he could have sent Harry a note from Fox and say, hey, heads up, this is going to be happening.
So I'm just saying,
a little bit of confirmation there. Would have been nice.
Uneasy right off the bat.
Yeah.
But to make matters even worse, Snape decides to show me what a class act guy that he is and reminds me specifically how much I just love him being around when him and Sirius get into it.
Yes.
It was awkward. It was pretty funny because they both have a lot of dirt on each other, and
it's true. Yeah.
they use those for verbal jabs without thinking twice. Why does he always have to pick a fight with people?
He probably wants to get in a fight.
Yeah, probably.
He's a Slytherin.
He is a Slytherin, man. And when's he going to let this beef go, right? I mean, he had a problem.
When is Sirius going to let it go?
What? He's let it go. He's fine. Sirius is emotionally drained right now. You know, Christmas is over. He's getting sad all over again. He can't leave the house. His family's leaving him. Everybody's going to be gone. Then he has to deal with Snape of all people? Man. Bad combination.
Yeah, it's not a good combination, but it's fairly entertaining, I think, to watch.
Yeah. It worked out well. One important piece of information that we did get from this whole thing was Snape revealing that Malfoy did, in fact, see and recognize Snuffles, a.k.a. Sirius Black, at the train station.
Yep.
That's not good.
No.
Not good at all. Now, what Malfoy could do with that information, who knows? You know?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I think it really does is kind of prevents him from using his dog form again outside.
Yeah.
Like, they know to look for that as well now.
Yeah.
But...
because he's still a wanted man.
Yeah, the ministry hasn't changed their mind
and
at all.
Even more so here coming up here quickly.
Yeah.
He went from, he's a wanted fugitive to, oh man, we need to get this guy ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course there is.
Yeah. Turn him into the ringleader.
Yeah. So yeah, what is Malfoy gonna do with this information? Or nothing. Maybe he's just, like you said, just one of those things that now we know Sirius can't go into dog form, and that makes him leaving the house that much more difficult. Who knows, Matt? Who knows?
Only time.
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to be real with you here. This chapter did nothing for me. Overall. Like, I was bored with it. I kind of zoned out some points. I don't know why. It was a chapter. I guess it happened. Mr. Weasley's all healed up. As expected.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't, I knew from the get-go the dude was going to be fine, so we're all good there. Nothing to worry about.
I mean, sure, go ahead.
No. I had nothing.
I mean, a lot of this is setting up for what happens later.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Whether it be later in this chapter or later in the book. I mean, it's just one of those chapters. It needs to be in there, but once again, reading at your pace, it might not do a lot for you.
It had to tie up some loose ends. It had to end some things and then start some things, and just kind of there. A filler chapter,
Kind of.
Got to hang out with Tonks for a little bit. Made me smile. I keep forgetting that she could change her appearance. I don't know why I keep forgetting that, but every time she's mentioned...
it's something you loved about her right away.
Yeah, I know. And every time she's mentioned, it's always a description of what she looks like this time, which I love, but it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that. Maybe it's just because we don't spend any time with her anymore, All she is just escort.
Quick glances here and there.
Yeah. One day. Night Bus returns. It's still crazy as ever.
It's true.
Yeah. We need a ride.
Yeah, and I find it kind of interesting. Like, I've been watching this more and more now, and thinking about it ever since Alex brought up, what is the purpose of the night bus? And it's like, they always say, the stranded witch or wizard, and like every time we get a mention of it, like, I feel we're kind of stretching the definition of stranded witch or wizard.
Stranded definitely has like a negative connotation behind it.
Yeah. Like
whereas now it's just, we need a ride.
Yeah, the first time we saw it, Harry was running away. Mm. He was going to be kind of in danger if he was out there by himself for too long. So yeah, he's stranded. He needs help. Yeah. Got it. The kids need to get back to school from their Christmas break. There's a bunch of fully trained witches and wizards, that are riding on the bus with them. Right. These Aurors are riding the night bus. I'm like, okay. Like, you
Hermione's on vacation. She's done skiing, so she's like, I need the night bus.
Yeah. Like, I just think that it worked better from a safety perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're going for. They can't use the Fluid Network anymore. They don't want to rely on the Ministry. They've gotten cars from the Ministry before. That's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Flying on a broomstick isn't going to happen. They can't apparate. So, like, just all these things you have to check off the list. And it's like, okay, well, how else are we going to get them back? They're not at the train station.
Portkey.
Yeah, they already made an illegal one of those. So.
I mean, if you break the rule once, you might as well just keep going with it.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, who's going to prosecute Dumbledore, though?
Right. Oh,
but
fudge.
Okay.
Heartbeat.
Fine. Well, he's not going to press his luck too many times.
Yeah, that's also true. Weird question.
Sure.
You can't apparate in or out of Hogwarts.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We know this. Hermione reminds us of this every time.
Yeah. Haven't you read the book?
I'm working on it, man. How close to Hogwarts could you theoretically apparate?
Right outside what's considered the Hogwarts grounds. I mean,
could you apparate into the Forbidden Forest, or is that part of the grounds?
It depends. I don't know
we're
what
talking about.
Property ownership is like in the Wizarding world.
Where's the fence lines?
How much land does Hogwarts own? How strict they are on that, and like, can you place spells beyond what property you own, or because that's what it is. It's all these enchantments and spells that are protecting the Hogwarts grounds.
Right.
So there has to be an actual end point to it, and obviously, like they didn't just put it on the castle,
right?
They put it on the entire grounds.
Sure. So could you apparate to outside of the grounds and then just walk in?
In theory, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know the trio can't apparate yet, but
yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm curious where those apparition lines lay.
Yeah, like I said, we'll definitely learn more about that eventually. But
Matt, I feel like you keep telling me that, and we're, almost 5 books in now, and there's a lot of unanswered questions I have. Also, like this whole night bus scene with the kids going back to Hogwarts. My main takeaway from the whole thing, other than the night bus is still really cool, is just how insignificant Professor Lupin is as a character. Like, he's just a background ancillary character at this point. He's just there.
I think part of it is like, okay, we want to make sure that he's still there. Yeah. So he pops up from time to time.
Sure.
His name's mentioned. He takes him someplace, or he's at a meeting or something like that.
Usually hanging around Tonks.
Like, we want to make sure he's not left out of the story.
Right.
But at the same time, like you said, we're 5 books in. We have so many characters now that it's hard to spend quality time with all of them.
Yeah. I got so excited having Lupin back in the story, and it's like, well, what was I excited for? Because he's just going to be just hanging in the background the whole time.
For now.
I mean, Crazy Cat Lady, we went 4 books without thinking about her?
Yep.
She popped up in a big way.
She did?
To say, we don't need to keep being reminded that Lupin's around. We know he's around. He's not doing anything. Why keep him in the story right now?
Because he's part of the Order.
I guess. Just the transportation service. Let's see. Harry and Cho. We
find out Cho is actually capable of normal conversation.
Yeah.
Yep.
We find out that Harry is capable of possibly figuring out this whole dating thing. Close to it?
Kind of.
Like the baby steps?
Yeah, it's like he's still like I'm glad his brain works at high speed.
Yeah.
Because he just says and does some of the stupidest things, but kind of like I've noted before, like when he's down in the dungeons and stuff, like how fast he can put stuff together.
Right.
Like put all the puzzle pieces together, and he does it again here. Like he trips over his own tongue, and like what went wrong? What's going on? What was she expecting? And like his mind has got to be going a mile a minute there.
Sure.
And figures it out fast enough to catch her yet.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, for me, if that were me, I'm sure I had some similar-ish situations back in my high school days.
Yep.
And like, I'd sit there, do you think about it the rest of the day, go into that night, maybe if I was lucky, like that night when I got home, it's like, oh, I might have caught on to something.
Yeah.
But then by that point, it's too late.
Right.
Like,
they always talk about, like, the one that got away,
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to guys or boys, dumb teenage boys, like, I feel like there are multiple the ones that got away. Because we're too dumb to recognize it until after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even Harry at the beginning of this book was just, like, he was a mess. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know how to talk, interact, like, ask questions, nothing. Like, he has at least matured enough in the few months since he's been back at Hogwarts to, not right away, but quick enough to understand that she wants to be asked to go hang out at Hogsmeade on the weekend for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But at the same time, I mean, from the guy's perspective here, why does she have to beat around the bush? If that's what she wants, let him know.
Matt, did you go to prom?
Yes.
Did you go with someone to prom?
I did.
Okay.
I have a good story about that, actually.
Did you ask said person to go to prom, or did they ask you?
So I went as friends with this girl.
Okay.
So I was a band kid in high school.
Okay.
So after school, you knew you could 100% find me down in the band room.
Sure.
That's where we hung out. And this girl, like, we both knew it wasn't going to be anything serious or anything like that. We never even dated or anything. We were just friends, honestly. Yeah. But she was just kind of part of our group.
Okay.
And so she stopped down one day after school, and like, I knew my ride had just pulled up, and it's like, okay, so I got to be going, but stayed and talked for a few minutes, and she kind of had that look in her eye. It's like she like I had caught on that she wanted to ask me,
right?
And I just kind of let her talk herself through it, and waited, and eventually I knew she wasn't going to get it out,
right?
And so I just left.
What? You just left?
Yeah.
I was not expecting that twist.
So she I honestly just left her hanging. That was me. That was me in high school.
Wow.
So like I just kind of left her there twisting, and it's like, yeah, I know what you wanted to ask. I know what you're getting at, but I'm gonna make you say it. I'm not gonna help you with this.
Wow. Okay.
She did. No, like the next day, she got it out. It's like, yeah, it's not that big a deal. It's like, I understand. Just ask.
So why didn't you just do it? Because you're a dumb boy. That's why, Matt. That's why girls beat around the bush and don't say anything, because they're dealing with us dumb boys all the time.
It was honestly, I was already planning on going to prom. I was just going to go with a group of friends anyway. Sure. And, some of them were couples, some of them were not. And so it didn't really bother me if I had a date or not.
Yeah. So
I wasn't actively pursuing a date.
I get that.
So it's like, all right, if someone wants to go as my partner for the night, fine, sure. But
dumb boys is the answer, Matt.
There you go. There's my dumb boy story.
Yeah. We've all been there. And that's why girls are so frustrated. Because, look, they mature quicker than us dumb boys do. they have to deal with us being dumb boys. And to be honest, at that age, we're intimidated by the thought of girls knowing exactly what they want and taking the lead in making it happen, you know? Plus, like, there's a whole, like, societal thing about, like, the romance of, you know, the boy asking the girl and that whole thing, you know, like, that whole societal pressure, you know, aside, you also are dealing with, like, dumb, immature boys who would totally be threatened by girls like Hermione, let's say, of just, like, taking charge and being like, no, this is what's going to happen, this is how it's going to happen, and we'll go from there, you know?
Well, yeah, and I mean, we kind of saw that it play out in the Yule Ball last year.
Right.
Where it's like, that's essentially the reason she didn't end up going with Ron, and she did go with Victor.
Right. The older boy.
Yep.
Who was, you know, maturity-wise, much closer to where she was.
Yeah.
Than dumb old Ron. This is not fair.
Okay.
It's not fair that girls have to put up with us dumb boys. It's really not bad. Anyway. Yeah. Cho, Harry, they're getting it together. They're getting closer to figuring out what's going on.
Slowly, but yes.
Yeah. Kind of annoyingly slow, but whatever. We're getting there. We're making progress, Matt. That's the best thing that we could say.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about Harry's first Occlumency class with old Professor Snape. The guy who it just tickles me to death to know how pleasant and happy he is all the time.
Yeah.
He's not, Snape, Matt. He's miserable. He's just a miserable old man.
Hey, that's happy for Snape.
No, happy for Snape was when he was making fun of Sirius Black.
Sure.
That was a high point for his week. All right, so what did we find out here? The Memory Bowl returns.
Yes, the Memory Bowl.
The Pensieve.
There you go.
Snape took out some memories and put it in a bowl.
Yep.
That's interesting. But right before the class started, too. Or the lessons started, I should say.
Yep.
What's that about?
The world may never know.
Well, I bet we will. I bet we will come back to that, Matt. Because at the end of the lesson, he put them back in.
Sure. Well, they're his memories. Like, I kind of wonder at this point, too. It's like, okay, this Pensieve, like, we don't really know too much about them.
Right.
Like, are they rare? Like, invisibility cloaks? Well, invisibility cloaks are supposed to be rare. We've now seen more invisibility cloaks than Pensieves, so I don't know. But does Snape have his own personal Pensieve, or did he borrow this from Dumbledore?
I feel like probably all the professors at Hogwarts have one in their office.
Yeah?
Yeah. I feel like that's just like standard, like a standard issue Pensieve at this point.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can see that, yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it gives them a way to clear their minds so they can teach.
Like, it doesn't feel like it's a special gadget per se, like the invisibility cloak or, you know, like the that glass.
The faux glass?
The faux glass. You know, like, it doesn't seem like it's on that level. It's more useful for day-to-day things, not useful for, like, shenanigans.
Sure. Yeah.
Like you said, like, it would allow them to, like, clear their mind and ease up a little bit, maybe be better teachers and
concentrate on the task at hand.
Yeah. So I don't know. I could see it being a standard issue.
Yeah, I definitely can see it if they are that populous or easy to make. Like that. Right. I mean, that's the thing with invisibility cloaks is like the materials you need to make them aren't like they're hard to get.
Yeah.
So they don't make them, like not everyone has one.
Right.
But if you just need to make this like stone bowl and I don't know, put a charm on it or something, like if that's all it is, then sure, everybody can have one.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wasn't like super surprised that he had one. I'm just more curious about what he's putting in it.
Memories.
Memories. But what memories, Matt? Good memories? Bad memories? Evil memories? Death Eater memories?
We'll have to wait and see.
We will wait and see. Let's see. So Snape's kind of talking about how Voldy just recently kind of discovered how connected he was to Harry Potter. And hence the whole snakebite corridor dream, semi-dream thing, vision quest that Harry was on. Before then, like, emotionally, I guess Voldy kind of knew that when he was mad, Harry would feel that he was mad, or whatever. Like that connection, he at least understood that. But now he's starting to understand that there's more of a connection there.
Yeah.
Or more that's possible.
Yes.
As far as a connection is concerned. Still don't know much about it. Still pretty vague from the reader's perspective, but Snape seems to know what he's talking about. So, okay. Makes sense. I'll buy it for now.
Yep.
So the first time he goes into Harry's head, starts pulling out all these random memories, looking through them. Like I it's like a slideshow, right? Like that's how it's described.
More or less, yeah. You just see quick snippets of everything. Like I always kind of pictured it like if you're going through like a card file or something, like flipping through it, and yeah, exactly. And you just see little snippets of what's on the cards and just keep flipping.
Yeah,
and yeah, or like I said, like a slideshow. Someone got a hold of the clicker and they're just clicking through all the slides, and it's like, haha, look at that. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like there's never too much time spent on any one memory,
right? As
far as we can see right now, he's just kind of flying around and intruding.
Yeah, and Harry sees this in his mind's eye, essentially, which is also what Snape is seeing.
Yep,
we come to find out, which makes sense. But Harry stops him at his kiss under the mistletoe, and under the Nargles with Cho Chang.
Yes.
And he's like, nope, we've gone too far. You're not seeing that one. We're done here. Shuts him down. First of all, kudos for making that happen. I don't think he got enough credit for actually stopping it at some point. Even though he did let it go on for far too long, probably.
Yeah.
It was also his first time, so I feel like he's due some congratulations. But I guess I'm confused by like how he actually stopped Snape.
Really?
Was it all mental, or like he used some sort of curse or jinx or hex or something, right?
Yeah, I believe this one was a stinging jinx.
A stinging jinx. Okay.
Yeah.
So he actually used that with the physical wand in his hand, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had him pull out his wand.
Right.
So he could try to stop him.
Okay. So is the tough part about this being able to do that while it's happening, like inside your head?
Well, so that's not necessarily what he was supposed to do.
Okay.
Like Snape did tell him, try to like disarm me or something. But I think he just wanted to give him an objective.
Sure.
And obviously, yes, disarming him would stop what he was doing.
Right.
Because Snape needed his wand to do it as well.
Right.
But I think the actual skill of occlumency is all mental.
Okay.
Like it's not Harry casting a spell that's going to stop him from getting in.
Right.
Because this is something that ultimately they're trying to get him to the point where he can literally do it in his sleep.
Right. Subconsciously, without thinking about it.
Yeah. Like he's trying to keep him out because that's when this is happening. They said when his mind is most relaxed, and that's really when they're trying to block it out.
Right.
And so he has to be able to do it basically without a wand even. Because, I mean, yeah, maybe he sleeps with his wand, but he's not going to be actively using it while he's sleeping. And he's not going to be able to attack Voldemort while he's sleeping.
Right.
So the occlumency is mental.
Okay.
But when he's here with Snape, yeah.
So overcoming it, like, being able to do that jinx required the mental capacity to do it. Right? So the tough part about what he did to stop Snape was essentially...
Yeah, like, basically what Snape is doing is, as a Legilimens, he is basically, like, taking control of Harry's mind. Like, he's not telling Harry what to do.
Right.
But he's invading his mind enough that Harry, as we see, can't focus or concentrate on doing anything else.
Yeah.
And so he needs to regain that control, so that will essentially stop Snape from getting in there.
Okay.
And he can, cast a spell or do something.
Okay. I was just trying to work it out as far as, like, the difficulty level here and what was actually taking place, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
We did learn something completely random. The word of the week, Matt.
Yeah.
This week's word of the week. Sponsored by talesfromgodrichollow.com/store?
/shop, but yes.
/shop. The word wheel?
Yeah.
Wheel. WEAL.
Yes.
Have you heard that before?
Probably not outside this book.
Okay.
Every time I see it,
yeah,
I think it's a typo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want it to be welt.
Yes. Totally.
And honestly, it's just about the same thing.
Right. Have you looked up the definition of this?
Yes.
A red, swollen mark left on flesh by a blow or pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally should be welt.
Exactly. Like, once again, it's JK being JK. And pulling out these words that, either they use over in Britain more than we do, or they're just old-timey words that we don't use so much anymore.
Right.
Anyway. Honestly, I was actually surprised that was the word of the week you pulled. I had a different one. I actually had to look up. Macintosh?
Macintosh?
Yeah.
When was that said?
When Mr. Weasley came back.
What did he say?
He was dressed in a Macintosh.
Dressed in a Macintosh. Now I'm gonna have to look this up. Boy.
Yeah, it was fairly early on in the chapter.
Okay, what's the definition? Because I could sit here and look it up. I'm gonna have to wade through tons of.
Yeah, well, I mean, the key is it's spelled with a K. It's MACK.
Oh.
INTOSH.
That would definitely make a difference.
Yeah. But basically what it comes down to is it's raincoat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But, yeah, I had never heard that before.
Sure.
I don't know. That we call it a raincoat. I don't call it a Macintosh.
Yeah. Raincoat,
I mean,
overcoat. Yeah.
Especially nowadays with Macintosh being such a big brand name.
Right.
You can't go around saying, "Yeah, I'm wearing my Macintosh." What, your iPod?
It kind of reminds me of what Tina is wearing in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Sure.
I wonder if that would be considered a Macintosh.
I couldn't tell you, but it's very possible.
Someone out there is into fashion that could set us straight, I'm sure.
Yep, someone already started writing their email.
How dare you besmirch the good name of Macintosh. Okay, so this lesson is interesting.
Yeah.
To say the least. Flash of Cedric's death. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just keep hitting that hammer to the nail.
It's in Harry's mind.
It needs to leave so we can stop experiencing it over and over and over again. And then he basically called Harry emotionally weak. Or he called Harry emotional, which makes him weak.
Sure.
Right? And I'm thinking, us Hufflepuffs, we are... we have no chance in life. If being emotional equals weakness, we're done for, Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, we may dominate Quidditch, but overall, might be not good things in store for Hufflepuffs. It's a good thing Snape is always wrong, so I don't have to listen to him. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, two quick things I wanted to mention that Snape does bring up.
Yeah.
That I know you always are interested in like how magic works and the stuff behind it, and like he's explaining, basically Legilimency to Harry and like how it's supposed to work and how it's different with him and Voldemort. But he tells us that time and space matter in magic. So, like, he's talking about this specific instance, but I think you can kind of carry that over into other magic.
Sure.
And then, even more specifically to Legilimency, is eye contact is often essential.
Often. Not always.
Yes. Like you said, obviously in this instance with Voldemort, it's something else is going on. So he doesn't have eye contact with him, obviously.
Or does he?
Pretty sure he doesn't.
Well, I don't know about that. There are plenty of suspicious things at Hogwarts that...
All right.
Look, I'm just saying, we saw Voldy to start off this entire series on the back of some dude's head.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibility to say that he may have eye contact with Harry. We just don't know it.
All right.
But now I kind of want to go back through this entire book and find out all the times when things are happening to Harry, who's around that could be giving that eye contact.
Yep.
Detective Muggle is on the case. Okay. I like the time and space thing. I think that's fascinating. You know, like that kind of explains how special that time turner was that Hermione was using.
Yeah.
Because, you know, with the exception of that, from what we know, like magic, it doesn't manipulate time and space.
Yes. Yeah. Time and space still matter.
Whereas that thing definitely was manipulating, you know,
it
time.
Definitely, and that's why it was highly regulated and it was so hard to get.
Right.
Just one. So,
I wonder if that's ever going to come back in the series. I feel like it will. Like it was made such. But how?
That's the question.
Could someone die and then someone be brought in essentially back to life with the time turner?
Well, isn't that what kind of happened already?
I don't remember.
With Buckbeak and Harry. And
I guess so.
Sirius and like they basically went back and saved lives.
Yeah, I mean Buckbeak's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's around somewhere. Just remember that.
So you ever notice how Snape references Voldemort?
He doesn't use his name because he's freaked out by it.
What does he call him?
Is he called Dark Lord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not like everybody. Like, he doesn't use "he who must not be named."
No, because he's a former Death Eater, Matt.
He always references it, but still to this day, though, like,
yeah, he can't.
He calls him the Dark Lord.
Well, he probably still is a Death Eater.
He's the only one that, like, you don't really hear that from anyone else.
No, because
I mean, I guess we're not hanging out with Death Eaters, but
no. Well, I mean, that we know of.
Well, there you go. That'll be your giveaway. Anyone who references the Dark Lord.
I'm gonna be on the lookout for that one. Yeah, I don't know. I could Snape still be a Death Eater? Yeah, it's totally plausible. I don't trust him. I know you keep telling me to trust him because Dumbledore trusts him, but his track record isn't stellar, Matt.
All right, Josh, who do you trust more, Creature or Snape?
Oh man, like just in general.
Yeah, I mean, you basically put it out there twice now. You know, I trust him as far as I can throw him. So
I trust Creature more.
Yeah?
And here's why. I think he's pretty upfront with his feelings about things. And I think if he's up to no good or mischievous things, like, he's just gonna tell you. Like, he doesn't care, you know? Also, he's still a house elf, and he is heavily regulated to what he's able to do or not do because of his enslavement to the black household. But I also, he's a straight shooter, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
So, like, him acting all uppity and, like a pep in his step, I think there's a reason for that, and, like, if you were to ask him, I think he'd probably tell you, I don't think he's necessarily trying to deceive anybody. I just don't think anybody cares enough to really fully pay attention to what he's up to.
Okay.
So I trust him more than Snape. Because I think Snape is deceptive, and I think he's a really good liar, and I think he's manipulative, and he does come across as a straight shooter as well. Like, when he doesn't like somebody, you could tell he doesn't like somebody. But I also think that's kind of part of his shtick,
Yeah.
Like, being so outward with his emotions makes him more trustworthy to some. But he's just playing everybody for a fool. I don't trust him.
All right.
Never have, probably never will.
Good to know.
But Creature, whew, I trust him more than Snape.
All right.
Okay.
That's fair. So yeah, back to Snape though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He finally starts to explain what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel that Snape in this situation, like, in just 5 minutes or less, sheds more light on what's going on with Harry and Voldemort than anyone has told Harry up to this point and was ever willing to tell Harry.
Right. I mean, we still don't know anything for sure, but...
Yeah, but, I mean, it's at least, I guess, a theory?
Yeah.
And, I mean, it seems to make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, how are you ever going to prove that that's actually what's happening or not happening?
Oh, I'm sure we will at some point.
All right.
So he puts his memories. Harry's done for the day. Yeah, I just weird. I just got creeped out by the whole thing. I don't like it. I don't like him messing with Harry's head.
Not many people do.
Yeah. Podmore.
Yep.
Yep.
Sturgis Podmore.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what happened, but I definitely put in my notes that he's now more suspicious than ever.
Because Harry finally recognized the Department of Mysteries.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, and that's possibly where he was arrested for trying to break into somewhere in the ministry.
Some door in the like I think the article they read even mentioned Department of Mysteries.
Yeah. So now, like, that connection is starting to make sense a little bit more. So he's supposed to be with the good guys, but if he's breaking into this place, that in theory was the place being guarded by Mr. Weasley when he was attacked by Harry, aka the giant snake, then why was Podmore, who's supposed to be on the good guys, trying to break into that place as being guarded by a good guy? Very suspicious, Matt.
A lot of things going on there.
Yeah. So is Podmore a bad guy? Is he really a Death Eater? Is he playing the Order for a fool? I don't know. One thing that we've learned about in this book, was it this book?
You're gonna have to help me out a little more.
The curses, the three really bad curses.
We first learned about them last book.
Last book, okay, definitely.
Yeah, it was the fake Mad Eye that taught them the first time.
That's right. Yeah, there's the curse that you can essentially possess somebody and make them do what you want, right?
Yeah, the Imperious Curse.
The Imperious Curse. We've seen it in action. Would it be out of the realm of possibility for this Podmore guy to possibly be under that? And maybe that's why he was trying to break into some place that was guarded by the Order?
I suppose it's possible. People have claimed that before.
Yeah. Or maybe he just switched sides. Who knows? I just don't know enough about him or what he's up to really make that assessment at this point.
Sure.
But there's a lot of theories on the table.
Definitely.
So then the chapter ends with Harry laughing like a maniac. Well, first he's hearing the laughing. He's like, wow, whoever's laughing is like just hysterically laughing right now. Like they're laughing out of control.
Yeah.
Turns out it was him laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of his good old connection to Voldy. Voldy's happy about something. Like really happy about something.
Happiest he's been in 14 years.
Yeah. So that's something. Can't wait to see what that's going to be. Yeah, that's
good news is I didn't end the reading there.
Yeah, no. You appreciate that, Matt. I didn't have to wait long to figure that out. Also, like even if you had ended that, I don't think I would have sat here for an entire week ruminating on that thought.
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, we'll find out. Again, this chapter was just kind of blah overall.
I understand.
The ending of it, like finding out, like, you know, like with the Occlumency class and all that, like it was fascinating. It was good info, but not a lot of excitement overall.
It's not the action you're looking for.
It's not. Will chapter 25 have that action? We'll find out.
All right, chapter 25, The Beetle at Bay. We do have... I have 2 new characters on my list.
Okay, I have 3.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I have... see if they're actually the same.
Okay.
Miriam Strout.
Okay.
She was a healer at the hospital.
Uh-huh.
And Madame Puttyfoot, however you want to pronounce it.
Okay. Val had a tough time with that name, too.
Yeah, Puttyfoot.
Yeah.
Like it wants to be pudding, but it's not.
Right.
Puttyfoot.
Puttyfoot. Okay, well, I had 3 other people on my list.
I kind of figured.
Yeah. A couple bad guys that we found out about. One of which is definitely not named Bellatrix Lestrange, because I've heard that name before, Matt.
That you have.
But there's some other people.
The other 2?
Yeah. Have we met them before?
By name, at least. I mean, they've been in Azkaban, so I mean, we haven't really run into them.
When have we learned about them?
I believe in the Pensieve, actually, probably.
That would make sense. Okay.
When they went back and they were accusing people.
Sure. Yeah. And Harry's sitting next to Dumbledore.
Yeah, but we've definitely heard of both Dolhov and Rookwood.
Okay.
So between the Pensieve and possibly some of them mentioned again at the graveyard.
Oh, okay.
When Voldemort kind of went down the line, and he sometimes talked about the gaps in the line.
The ones that
it's
weren't
like,
there. Mm-hmm.
These people aren't here. It's like, they served me well, or they're in Azkaban. Or,
Sure.
Yeah.
Not the ones that abandoned him.
Yeah.
Right. Also, Professor Vector? Question mark?
Every time.
There's no way we've talked about Professor Vector before.
Oh, we have. I mean, we still don't have a lot of information about him or her. We've been over this, but yeah, Professor Vector we have mentioned a number of times.
There's not a chance in the world that that's true.
It's only ever in passing, and you never like I screwed up last time and called her a wizard.
Okay,
it's a female.
Okay,
but she's the arithmancy teacher.
That's the class that Hermione takes, right?
Hermione is taking arithmancy. The boys aren't.
Right.
So she occasionally mentions it as, Professor Vector gave me homework or something like that, or sometimes just passing in the hall, like we see, I believe, in this chapter.
What's the point of even mentioning her?
Because she's a teacher, professor. She's there.
Is there even an actor that plays this character in a movie? Like,
if we hadn't met Professor Lupin previously, you would be writing off. I mean, you already are writing off his mentions in this book.
Yeah, it's useless. So is this mention. I need to be reminded that there's a random teacher that I know nothing about this school. Yeah, congratulations. There's probably 30 other teachers I don't know about this school that I'm never going to learn about because these boys are dumb and don't take any different classes.
They take different classes. They just, not the class. And Hermione's just taking so many more classes. That's the problem.
Exactly. We need the story rewritten from Hermione's perspective. I need to find out who these teachers are. It's the only way I'm going to ever learn.
But I don't think you'd want to take arithmancy anyway.
I don't know. I just want to know who this Professor Vector is and why she just keeps randomly popping up. All right. Well, I guess just 2 new characters then.
Yep.
I will say, the title of this chapter, Matt.
Yeah?
Got me a little excited.
Did it now?
I went one of 2 ways with it in my head.
Okay.
First of all, Beetle. Rita Skeeter. Last we heard, she was a Beetle. Right?
Yeah. Hermione had caught her in the jar.
Yes. The other potential that got me excited about the name of this chapter is something that you won't let me read.
Tales of Beetle the Bard?
Yes!
So, since you've probably only ever heard it, I will tell you Beetle the Bard is spelled Beedle.
Oh.
Not with a T.
Dang it. Well,
so
that.
Yeah. I mean, you found out by the end of the chapter what it meant.
I know.
But yes.
I know.
Once again, like I said, if you were only just hearing it,
yeah, I
completely understand. It could be either one.
Sure.
If you were reading it, I think you would. Well, you didn't know how Beetle was spelled, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, one of two possible outcomes for the name of this chapter. I got one of them right. Reed Skeeter returns.
It's true.
We have lots to talk about before then, though.
Very true. Yeah, she still doesn't appear until the end.
Yeah. I get excited right off the bat, though, because Bellatrix Lestrange is on the front cover of the Daily Prophet.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes. We're going to learn more about this mysterious lady with the funny last name that I want to know more about. I want to know their entire family lineage and why it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not going to happen. Not this chapter.
Not quite.
No.
Yeah.
Azkaban has been broken out.
Pretty much. I mean, we get the number 10. Mm-hmm. That was going to be the number I picked for the giveaway, by the way. So it's kind of weird because I'm pretty sure there are more than 10 prisoners at Azkaban.
That was my question, was how many prisoners are at Azkaban? Now, we got 10 breakouts. We also know that, what's his name? Podmore is there, right?
Yep.
Was he one of the 10? We don't know.
He wasn't mentioned.
He wasn't mentioned. But you would think that the kids would have caught on to seeing him as one of the 10 that broke out.
Yeah. Because they know about Podmore, so you think they would have mentioned, oh, he made it out. Or...
Sure. So we could assume the 10 that broke out were not him. So there's at least, up until the breakout, 11 prisoners at Azkaban.
Yes, and Sirius was 12.
Right.
So he escaped.
Sure. So how many more are there?
I mean, I don't think this is any kind of small-scale prison, because like we always talk about, like, it is the wizard prison.
Yeah.
And
you could go there without being a Death Eater.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, Haggard was there. And so I kind of I always kind of picture it, it is the wizard prison. So it's like maybe there are other wizard prisons, but this is the main one.
Yeah.
In my mind.
At least like in England, right? Or the UK.
We don't really know where it is.
No, I mean not like where it's located, but I feel like other regions would probably have their own.
It's possible.
Like, they're not going to ship them all the way across the world to go to this one prison. Like,
why not?
Wizards in South America, they probably have their own prison down there. You're not...
you never know. You never know.
Cross Atlantic Ocean just to go to prison. You're right. I don't know.
It's a lot easier for wizards to travel than muggles.
True.
Wouldn't it make more sense to keep all of the bad guys in one place? I mean, at the same time, it kind of reminds me of, like, Gotham. Where,
right.
Like, yes, let's put all the worst criminals in Arkham.
At least we know where they all are.
Time and time again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whether or not that's a good idea, I mean, yeah. It's hard to say, but in my mind, it is a well-populated prison.
Okay.
I guess is what I'm getting at.
In my head, it was not. It was a very small-scale prison, but...
All right.
Who knows? We know it's a little lighter, though. 10 less wizards have escaped. Wizards and... 9 wizards and a witch.
At least,
Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yep.
Fudge is doing his political spin on this whole thing.
As he loves to do.
Yep. Blaming Sirius Black, saying that he's a ringleader. He broke out already. Now they're all going to go follow him. Instead of maybe just saying, hey, we got a problem on our hands. This Dumbledore guy, this Harry Potter dumb kid, like, I'm not going to say they're right, but maybe we should treat this with a little more caution than I want to admit,
Yeah, I think he figures if he starts backpedaling that it's going to make him look so bad that he's going to lose his job. And we've seen that from day one. Like, that's his number one is his job. That's why he was so anti-Dumbledore, because he thought Dumbledore wanted his job.
Yeah.
That kind of drives his decision-making all the time.
Matt, have you ever heard the expression about digging your own grave?
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like that's what he's doing here, you know?
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's a smart move at all.
This is something that, like, we, in this household as parents, try to, like, instill in our kids. If they do something wrong, fine. You know, like, there's consequences for your actions, right?
Yeah.
But the moment you start lying about it is the moment that one little thing turns into a much bigger thing.
Yeah.
You know, you will get in far less trouble if you fess up to what happened and tell the truth and be honest about it and regretful and remorseful than you will if you decide to lie about what happened. And that upsets us as parents more than anything, because lying just doesn't do anything good for anybody.
Yeah.
And it makes everything worse. And then, so the kids, like, know this at this point, but, like, every once in a while, like, rarely it happens, but every so often, there'll be one of the kids does something that they shouldn't be doing, and then lies about it, and then gets caught lying about it, and then tries to keep lying about it because they already know how much trouble they're going to be in, and it just makes everything worse.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely know the feeling. I'm sure I know I did that as a kid myself.
So it's a hard thing to grasp sometimes. Like, you feel helpless and powerless, so you just keep going with it, hoping to find a way out.
Yep.
But you're just digging a hole straight down into the dirt. Like, you're just going to keep finding more and more dirt, you know?
Yeah. But, yeah, hindsight is 20/20, or from the outside looking in, it's a whole different story. When we get to read about it,
Yeah.
or when we're watching a movie and someone's doing something stupid like this, like, yeah, we can call them out on it. That's the easy part. But when you're in that situation, that's when it's tough.
So I think that's what's happening to Fudge here. I think this
Definitely.
is ultimately going to be his downfall. He's going to get caught up in the fact that he was too prideful and didn't want to admit that maybe he had a lapse in judgment and miscalculated the gravity of the situation and allowed it to get far worse, far quicker than it could have or should have. And, you know, he's all this worry about Dumbledore taking his job and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's going to be his own worst enemy by the time this is all said and done. I'll say that now.
All right.
Fudge will fall because of Fudge.
Seems about right.
Yeah. We found out about a strangling plant.
Yeah.
Definitely piqued my interest and curiosity, because of course it did. Then I realized, yeah, we've dealt with this before. Totally forgot about this.
Yeah.
How did I forget about Double Snare?
I mean, that's just not the way it was described before.
Yeah.
Like, they fell into, like, a pit of it, and it wasn't this potted plant that, you know, reaches out and strangles you. It was this, you know, overgrowth of Devil's Snare that they placed down there, and the whole floor was covered in it, basically. They just landed on it, and yeah, I guess, like, it was never talked about strangling, but it definitely, like, restricted them.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I think it was it being a potted plant that threw me off, you know?
And that, obviously, as we see here, that's what threw everybody off.
Yeah.
That's why no one suspected it.
Right.
It's like, who would put this dangerous plant in a pot?
Yeah.
And send it to something like that? That just wasn't logical. And, well, as we've heard, wizards don't really possess logic.
Who would do something like that, Matt?
Yeah?
I don't know. Somebody trying to kill somebody else. That's who we got ourselves a good old-fashioned murder mystery on our hands.
Does seem that way.
A good old whodunit, you know?
Yeah.
Break out Clue, because somebody has a candlestick in the observatory. We just need to find out who.
You could play a good game of Clue in Hogwarts. That would be
Is
fun.
there a Harry Potter version of Clue?
I think there might be, actually.
You need to look that up for me.
Oh, yeah, I'm working on it. Don't worry.
They definitely have different versions of Clue. Harry Potter Clue would be amazing. Also, the answer is always going to be Snape, obviously. Snape
Clue,
in the
classic
dungeon.
mystery game, Harry Potter.
Is there a version?
Featuring moving Hogwarts game board.
What?
I don't know how that... I might have to look into that.
You look into it, and then you let me know if I could look into it, because now I desperately need to know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much you're gonna because there's definitely like stuff about the castle printed on the board, and
Right.
have to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into that for sure.
Okay. Whew, that's got the tinglies.
Ooh,
Excited.
yeah, because the cards are gonna be the tricky part.
Yeah. And the characters.
Yep.
Voldy. Yeah, somebody tried to kill this Bode dude.
Yep.
Or not tried. Successfully did.
Did kill, yes.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Turns out that we've seen him before, we've met him before, and he worked in the Department of Mysteries.
Yes.
This is all checking out.
He was an unspeakable.
Mm-hmm. So the Department of Mysteries is turning out to be kind of the crux of this whole story of this book so far.
Yeah, it kind of keeps popping up.
Yeah.
Like, it was just casual mention. Well, actually, back in book 4 was the first mention of it, I think, at the Quidditch World Cup.
Okay.
That's when we mentioned Department of Mysteries and the Unspeakables. Like, that, I think that's when one of the first times they actually met Bode or Bodhi. I never know how to pronounce that.
Sure.
But yeah.
He was hanging out with Bagman, right? Is that right?
Maybe.
Was he one of the two that was hanging out with Ludo?
It was Bode and Chris. I can't come up with the name now.
Anyway.
I think it was someone else.
Okay. That was a long time ago, Matt.
Yes,
Anyway, Department of Mysteries. It's a mystery, as it should be.
Aptly named, yes.
Yeah, what's important about it? What's behind that door? What's in there? Is Voldy trying to get in there? Is he trying to keep people from it? We don't know. We don't know anything at this point.
Yeah.
Other than something important is probably in there.
It would seem that way.
At this point, the hype better be real. Hagrid was suspended.
Put on probation.
Was it probation? Okay.
Yeah, he's on probation.
As I typed that, I didn't want to stop Val from reading. But, like, suspended popped into my head. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
It feels like it might have been just probation.
Yeah, like he's still teaching, but all his lessons are supervised.
Sure. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get another loaded Dumbridge.
Right. Who, might I add, pops up way too often in these 2 chapters. Just because. Only once was she actually there. The rest of the time was just mentions. Again, more mentions just to remind us that she's still awful.
Yep.
We can't even go a full chapter, Matt. It's getting unnerving at this point. Lee Jordan.
Yeah, your boy Lee.
He's kind of a troublemaker.
He's got a bit of a mouth on him, yeah.
He does. Really? Lee Jordan? My Lee Jordan?
Yeah. That's why you love him so much.
That's true. That's true. Has a bit of an issue with his hand now.
He does.
He has a
something Harry recognizes.
He has a wheel on his hand.
I don't know if that qualifies because, like, it wasn't from an impact.
That's true.
It was repeated etching.
But you know what's going to help him out?
Essence of Murtlap.
Yes. Now, did we talk about this last time?
We did.
Okay.
You tried to skip over it.
Again, more deja vu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember now what Murtlap is?
Yes, because like a week ago, I watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
There you go.
Yeah! The crazy little naked hedgehog dude.
Yeah.
With the weird tentacles instead of spines. Who bites Jacob on the neck.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got it.
What a crazy little creature. Man, this world is just amazing sometimes, Matt.
Yeah, and I'm surprised you didn't talk about it more with the whole Legilimens thing. Because that's brought up in Fantastic Beasts too.
Is it? Oh, yeah. What's her name? Queenie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking that, but the way that Newt says it and his accent, I can never, up until now, fully understand what he says when he asks her if that's what she is.
Yes, he asked her if she's a Legilimens.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because the way his accent sounds with that word is just like...
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is actually a very, very skilled Legilimens. And
yeah, because she does it without a wand. She just...
Exactly. What makes her special is that she is basically born with it.
Right.
Like, she was born with this ability.
Yeah.
Snape had to learn how to do this.
Sure. This is this is a skill, not a...
Yeah. So, like we talked about with Tonks, right?
Mm-hmm.
How she can change her appearance.
Right. Naturally.
And they said, yeah, that's something you have to be born with.
Right.
Like, that's not something that can be taught or learned.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Legilimency, you can be born with the natural ability, but you can also learn how to do it.
Yeah. So, do we know of anybody that is capable of that in this series? As well as Queenie is?
No. To be perfectly honest, Queenie was kind of a big surprise for even fans like us, long-term fans. Like, we knew what they were talking about.
So when you say us, you're not talking about you and I.
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about the greater portion of the world.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, we knew the basics of Legilimency and what they were talking about there and kind of how it worked, but a lot of people had questions about how Queenie was doing it.
Right.
Like, without the wand and all the, like, seemingly all the time.
Yeah.
Like, she was just sitting there, like, having a conversation with Jacob's mind.
Right.
Like, it's...
Like, she couldn't even turn it off.
Yeah, basically.
The only reason, like, she had a hard time with Newt was because of the accent.
Which I'm sure you love, yes. It's like, I have that problem, too.
Yeah, like, I don't even know what he just called you. Okay. So has that been explained since Fantastic Beasts was released? Like, more so?
Yeah, JK's cleared that up a bit.
Okay. Since then. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's exciting. Trelawney, I'm not sure how to feel about this. Like, yeah. She's getting tested. She's getting pushed to the limit. Will this be good for her? Probably not.
I mean, she's basically, like, in the same position as Hagrid.
Yeah.
Do you think this is good for Hagrid?
Probably not, but, I mean, he's at least really close to Dumbledore, which may or may not be good for him at this point.
Sure.
Whereas, like, Dumbledore still casually kind of makes fun of Trelawney, even though he does admit that every once in a while she's right about things.
Yep.
You know,
just
like,
gonna give her a pay raise.
So I feel like it's not as good for her as it would be for Hagrid, just based on their positions in the school.
Okay.
And I don't know how I feel about this, because she drives me crazy. She's wacky, but she's still kind of entertaining, you know? Now, if you're to tell me...
You would rather have more Trelawney than Umbridge, so...
True. But if we're going to lose Trelawney, maybe that means we get some more Professor Vector in the mix? That could be a good thing. I don't know. Probably we'll never know, because this professor is real. Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about Trelawney kind of getting bullied by Dumbridge. And then it's happening. She's still employed for now. Will she last? I don't know. I'm not super confident in it. I'll say that.
All right.
Alright, so then the kids are talking about the whole Snape and Harry thing and the extra class or lesson that he's getting about occlumency and all that stuff. And that's when Ron kind of brings up some good points. And that's what got me thinking about how he does think it's kind of weird that Snape is teaching this class this lesson. And ever since then, Harry's been having more dreams, and he's supposed to be learning this to prevent these dreams from happening.
Yep.
But now it's happening, like, more frequently, and Ron's like, well, what if Snape's not doing what he says he's doing? What if he's opening Harry's mind up more instead of teaching him how to close it down? And Hermione just scoffs at the idea. She's just like, Snape would never do that. It's Snape.
Yeah, like Hermione, of all people, surprisingly, is on the, we have to trust Snape because Dumbledore does.
Right.
Like, I understand her reasoning behind it, but, like, I would say, other than throwing Dumbledore at the problem, like, all logic points to we shouldn't trust Snape.
Yeah.
And that's what Ron is trying to get at.
Right.
And what Hermione is usually good at, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, she usually thinks a little more logically and you would think be on board. It's like, yeah, we shouldn't just take his word for it.
Right. And again, like I said earlier, we are 100% just taking his word for it. We didn't see Dumbledore give him these instructions. We didn't see, like, a letter from Dumbledore given to Snape to do this. All we know is that Snape said, hey, Dumbledore told me to do this. Harry hasn't checked in with Dumbledore at all. He hasn't talked to Dumbledore about this, Harry's supposed to keep it on the DL. He's supposed to be secret about it completely, 100%. All I need him to do is bump into Dumbledore in the hallway and be like, hey, this occlumency lesson is going great. And Dumbledore would be like, what in the world are you talking about?
What's occlumency?
Or who's teaching you occlumency? Like something to be like, da, da, da. Or for Dumbledore to say, good, I'm glad it's going well. You need to be mentally strong for this. And then I'll say, okay, cool. Snape's on the up and up on this.
But, yeah, when was the last time you saw Dumbledore wandering the hall? Well, see him at meals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would be your chance.
Yeah. Something, I need reassurance that this directive did come from Dumbledore himself.
Although, I guess, now that I think about it, the big problem is he'd be up at the table with Umbridge.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to...
So we need a distraction on the other side of the hall to get Dumbridge all riled up and moving, and then Harry can sneak in through the backside and have
because Snape's big thing was don't tell anybody, especially Umbridge.
Right.
Now, obviously, if he's taking orders from Dumbledore, he should know. But you even look at like McGonagall. Does she know?
Right. You would think.
Mate, now I don't know. I don't know if she would know.
Is she part of the Order? She's part of the Order.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she would know.
I suppose.
Maybe. So I don't know.
Within the Order, they might have.
I just appreciate that Ron kind of brought to light the obvious doubts there. And maybe they are obvious for a reason. It's the whole red herring thing, you know?
You never know which way to go anymore.
No, I don't. I keep thinking back to not knowing that Dumbledore was actually involved with this decision, and that sketches me out a little bit.
Sure.
But before we have to worry about any of that, it's time to go to Hogsmeade.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's go to Hogsmeade, shall we?
All right.
Question.
Yeah.
Would Hogsmeade get boring after a while? Like, didn't the twins say a couple years back that, like, Hogsmeade wasn't that cool to them anymore because they had been so many times?
Yeah, that's basically the impression they gave. That's that's why they hung back at the castle.
Yeah,
and were able to help Harry out. I think after a few years you can get to the point where you might go and enjoy yourself, or you wouldn't feel like you missed out on anything.
Sure.
Obviously, it was a big thing for the third years that, like, the first time there, they haven't been there before.
Right.
And that they really want to go. But, yeah, it's not that big of a town.
It doesn't, like, change. It's, like, the same shops year in and year out.
Okay, I will compare it to the Mall of America.
Okay.
Have you ever been?
No.
Okay. Being in the Midwest,
only
one state away, it's right across the border.
Yeah.
Growing up, like, I didn't realize that it was actually built in my lifetime.
Okay. Just one of those things you just assumed has always been there.
Exactly. I mean, it was built when I was like 5 or something. So I wasn't paying attention to that, especially when it was in Minnesota. Like, I didn't care. But growing up, my grandparents lived in the Twin Cities.
Okay.
That's where my mom's from. So we would go visit them. And one of the things we would get to do when we go up there is go to the Mall of America.
Okay.
And it was this big to do every time. And we'd spend the whole day there, run around it's 4 floors. And I mean, it was supposed to be the biggest mall ever, basically.
Yeah. Anything you could want is there.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of how I picture it. Like, we love going there. We don't get to go there often. Probably maybe once a year. Probably once a year.
Okay.
We got to go there, and we just loved it. We looked forward to it all the time. Now, if we got to go there 3 times a year, or if we lived, in the Twin Cities, where you could just go there on the weekend,
right?
Regularly, would it get old? Probably.
I mean, eventually it's just a mall, right?
Exactly. Ultimately, it is just a mall. Yeah. It has all the shops you could ever think, like all the shops in any mall anywhere, all combined into one. Sure, right. It's great. But, yeah, it is just a mall. And the more you grow up, the more you think about it, it's like, yeah, not missing that much.
Yeah.
But growing up, every year, we looked forward to it. We loved going to that place. We made a big deal out of it. And I think that's kind of the reaction they're getting. Like, 3rd year, best thing ever. 4th year, still cool to go because there's kids below me that can't do it. 5th year, 6th year might start petering off, and it's like, I've been there. I've seen things. I mean, do they get new stores? Do people go out of business? Do they have? I mean, like, maybe if there's a reason to go again.
Sure.
Like,
it sounds like the best part of it, like, other than, like, the little shops that you could only get stuff from. Yeah. When you're there, would be like hanging out with your friends and just, going to the Three Broomsticks and having the big old table with a big group of friends or something like that, and just letting your hair down and having fun and not being at school.
Yeah. I think the only reason other than restocking on supplies, whether it be from the joke shop or candy or whatever it may be, I think the biggest thing is to get out of Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Because they're stuck at that castle. As awesome as that castle is, they are stuck there 24/7, like 9-10 months out of the year. like, yeah, they just got to, well, this was already like 2 months ago now. They went home for Christmas break, and now it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Like, that's when they're next. So they've been back at school for a month and a half, probably.
Yeah.
And they are itching to get out and go somewhere, do something different than what they've been doing every weekend for the past 6 weeks.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't brought up in this book, but I just was thinking about it. I'm like, man, going back to Hogsmeade. Okay. What are they going to do? You know, like, it's just like, cool. Same old shop, same old restaurants, whatever.
Yeah.
But for them, it's getting away, like you said, so.
Yeah. Night out on the town.
And this time Harry isn't going with friends. He's going with a girl.
Yes.
Cho Chang. On Valentine's Day.
Finally got that date.
Yep. They're going to go get coffee. Which threw me off, I'm not going to lie.
Yep. Why aren't they getting a butterbeer?
Yeah, it's one of those things.
What are you doing? Coffee. Wizards don't drink coffee.
What are you, normal teenagers? Stop it. It just threw me off completely. I expected we're at Hogsmeade, this magical little town, and you're just going to go get coffee. You know? Whatever. I had to rein it in, and
maybe JK is implying there's something magical about coffee. I don't know.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm right with you there.
Yeah.
Not a coffee guy.
No thanks to coffee.
Yeah.
And cue all the angry emails that we will be getting next
I'm sure we'll
next
get
week.
You.
But coffee sucks. Madam Puttyfoots.
Yes.
The coffee and tea shop of Hogsmeade.
Yep.
I like how it's been there the whole time, but Harry's just like, I've never noticed this thing. But that's not something that he's ever actively seeked out either.
Exactly. He's always had other things to do there, or he wasn't supposed to be there, and so he was hiding, or like there's always been other things on his mind.
Right.
And there you go. There's enough to do there to keep them busy. They haven't visited all the shops yet.
I guess that's true. But, you know, maybe those shops just aren't worth visiting. He probably wishes he didn't visit this one, to be honest, but...
Yeah.
So this whole thing
real
is...
awkward real fast.
Oh, real fast. This was a train wreck waiting to happen. This is the make-out spot for couples. This is where all the happy couples go, especially on Valentine's Day.
Pretty much, yeah. You know she looks forward to this day. It's like, yes,
yeah.
We're going to have Valentine's Day specials.
When there's a cherub flying around throwing pink confetti in people's faces, you know...
In their coffee.
Yeah, you're probably at the wrong place. Yeah, they're being awkward. Everybody's coupled up. They don't really know what to do. They don't really know what kind of conversation they should be having. Then the attention kind of gets put on Roger Davies, who's lip-locked with his new girlfriends. And Cho's kind of noticing and paying attention to that, and makes mention that he had asked her out a few weeks ago, and she was like, nah, I got this other guy I'm trying to talk into, you know, stepping up. And Roger Davies, he seems like a dreamboat. You know, I can't blame anybody for wanting to kiss this guy, but a lot of Roger Davies talk in this chapter, and that was weird.
You do realize what house he belongs to, right?
Yeah, he's Ravenclaw.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the captain of the Quidditch team.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well done.
Come on, I know my Quidditch, Matt.
You know you're Ravenclaw too, apparently.
I think that's why this was like just hammering home. This chapter was like Roger Davies, Roger Davies, Roger Davies. It's like, yes, okay, we know another Ravenclaw now. I can't forget Roger Davies' name at this point.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, there's another name I can't forget, and that's because he keeps getting brought up. My boy Cedric Diggory. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh, Cho. Okay. No, last week I gave you a hard time, and so did a listener.
Yep.
About you insisting that Cho just needs to, like, get over it, you know?
Yep.
I'm not going to go that far and say Cho needs to get over it. However, I think maybe Harry needs to step back here and just say, you know what? You need some time, Cho. You have some things to work out. Like, you do it at your own pace and your own schedule. Like, there's no reason to rush you. This is emotionally hard for you. I understand that. We all understand that. And that's okay. It's okay for you to still be hurt and still be in pain about Cedric's death. That's okay. But it's also okay for Harry to step back and say, I don't necessarily need this in my life right now.
Sure.
You know? And I think that's the most frustrating part. And probably the most frustrating part for you is it's not the fact that Cho is still hung up on Cedric's death. It's that it keeps getting brought up while Harry is still trying to pursue this as if it's a good thing for him right now.
Yeah.
If he would just walk away and be done with Cho, we wouldn't hear about it. Because this is Harry's story, not Cho's story. You know?
Exactly. Yes.
Could you imagine this book from her perspective, though?
No, thank you.
We'd have all these friends that didn't have names and all these sad tear marks on pages. And so, yeah, I'm not going to say Cho needs to move on. I am going to say maybe Harry needs to move on. You know, like, he can like Cho as much as he wants, but emotionally, I don't think she's ready for this.
Yeah.
And I don't think Harry is mature enough or emotionally stable enough himself to be that rock or that support system that she clearly needs right now.
Sure.
Roger Davies, on the other hand, maybe that's the rock that she's looking for. Harry, he's not that. Not right now. Maybe not ever. But I think she feels drawn to him because of the connection, because he did see Cedric die. But I also think that that is creating more unhealthiness in this relationship. So, I thought all of it, even before it was revealed that she's super jealous of Hermione Granger and her relationship with Harry.
I mean, yeah. Like,
I feel like everybody at school would just know that they're just friends, right?
You would think so.
Except for that stupid article.
Once again, no, not even that article. Like, this has happened to me as well. Like, I had actually two friends, two female friends, that I hung out with for, I mean, a good few months. Like, okay. They were kind of my go-to friend. Like, I spent a lot of time with them, and we never dated or anything. We never kissed. It never got romantic in any way.
Sure.
Like, we were both fine just being friends.
Absolutely.
I find out, like, 7 years later, my best friend thought that we had dated.
Oh.
And I'm like, wait, did everybody think this? And apparently there were more people out there that thought that I had dated this girl.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, that never happened. Huh. I spent time with her. We hung out, yeah, sure. But nothing ever happened. I'm like, where did that come from? So people make up stories. People talk, and not everybody knows what's going on all the time.
Sure.
So, could people be talking Harry and Hermione? Is that a thing? Is that what Cho's Harry? I don't know.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time together. That part is very much true. But yeah, Harry has a different idea in his head right now. It's like, yeah, we're just friends. We hang out a lot. What's the big deal?
Right.
But yeah, when Harry gets into this situation here, I mean, once again, I wish he would catch on faster and realize, oh, this is how she's gonna take it. Mm-hmm. So I need to word this differently.
Yeah.
Because the way he words all his phrases and his questions and requests, and it does not make him look good at all.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. The dumb teenage love that I was once excited about with Harry and Cho is now, I'm over it.
Yeah,
he needs to stay true to his friendship with Hermione more than he needs to try to be there for Cho at this point, in my humble opinion. So why is he rushing to go see Hermione in the first place, right?
That's the big thing. He doesn't even really know.
He doesn't know, because Hermione, as it's pointed out, and I started thinking about it, and then it happens again, absolutely refuses to ever explain anything at the time. Ever. Like, Rob points it out, and he's like, it would take her few extra seconds just to tell us what's going on.
Yep.
And she's like, nope, I got my toast, and I'm out of here. I'm running away.
So, obviously, JK is using this just to build suspense and all that.
Yeah.
But I like to think it's kind of how Hermione's character plays out, too.
Yeah.
Like, we've discussed how she is more mature than the boys, sure. But at the same time, I think her, for lack of a better word, bookish status, her just how she, she would always have her nose in a book until she met Ron and Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was one of those girls who probably didn't have a lot of friends and didn't care about it. Books were her friends.
Yeah.
And so I think she's, as mature as she may be, I think she still has some of those, not antisocial tendencies necessarily, but like, she doesn't make the best decisions all the time based on what she's thinking. Like, do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Like, yeah, she has a plan. She's going to execute it. She thinks it's the best idea. She doesn't stop and take the time to think that, oh, it would be helpful if I explained it to someone else as well.
Right. Yeah.
It obviously got her into trouble in Chamber of Secrets.
Right.
When she went off and did her own thing without telling people what she was doing exactly, and then got petrified.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, yeah, now you can't even explain it now. If you had explained it ahead of time, people might have been able to help you faster.
Yep. Just cracks me up. Hermione.
Yep, that's Hermione.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. Totally forgot why we were talking about Hermione. Harry rushes off the Three Broomsticks. He has to go meet Hermione. He sees Hagrid there beforehand. Hagrid's still beat up. More injuries. He blames it on his job. Harry's like, well, it's true, but I don't believe you. Like, it's a valid excuse, but there's something else going on. We don't quite know. Hagrid's
you got any ideas?
I don't know. He's starting to get emotional about his mom. Or not his mom, necessarily. I guess just family.
Yeah, he talks about being an orphan now.
Yeah. I don't know. What would be beating up Hagrid?
That is the question.
Is he messing with dragons again? Does he have another dragon? A secret dragon? That wouldn't surprise me at all. Did he go and get another dragon?
Find one on the way back?
Yeah. That would be a Hagrid thing.
It would be a Hagrid thing.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay.
It's not a big mystery yet. I mean, it's still a mystery. It's just not relevant to the story yet.
Okay.
It'll come back up. The more important thing is Hermione and her two guests that she has at her table.
Yeah. That we weren't expecting.
No. Wasn't expecting this at all. One of them, again, judging by the title of the chapter, you kind of have a hunch at this point. It's like, okay, the chapter's almost done here.
Yep. Had to show up at some point.
Right. Rita Skeeter.
Yes.
And the second totally threw me for a loop until it all kind of started making sense.
Yep.
Luna Lovegood.
Yes.
Like, well, that's the most unlikely duo I would ever expect to be with Hermione Granger.
Yeah. They definitely had differing opinions earlier.
Yeah. So I don't want to explain the whole thing. Everybody read it. Everybody knows what's going on. But the gist of it is basically they want to get Harry's story out there, as fantastical and unrealistic as it sounds.
Yep.
They need to get the story out there. It's not going to be printed in the Daily Prophet. Instead, they're going to the Quibbler with it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't pay its authors.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
All pro bono work. Yep.
Yeah.
They just like to see their name in print.
Do it for the exposure. I've been down that road before, folks. Bad idea. I'm just going to say what everybody's thinking by the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
And direct all your hate mail to talesfromgodric's@gmail.com. But I'm gonna drop a truth bomb on you guys here. I missed Rita Skeeter, and I think everybody did too.
Oh, Josh.
I'm back on the Rita Skeeter bandwagon. I'm sorry. Look, she messed with some people. She got into some trouble. She made things a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. She had, I'm not going to say bad intentions, but selfish intentions for it all. This reintroduction to the character, granted, she is being blackballed by Hermione, so she is kind of on a short leash here.
Yep.
But I kind of missed her. I enjoy the way the character is written. I will stand by that. I think she is fascinating. I think she is just such a different perspective on things than we get with most other characters. And I like Rita Skeeter. I'm sorry. I do. I'm back on the Rita Skeeter bandwagon. And when you compare how bad most people were saying Rita Skeeter was the last time, was it last book? Last book, right?
Yep.
When you compare how bad people thought Rita Skeeter was last book and how much hate I got for not hating her as much as everybody else did, and then you look at somebody like Dumbridge, Rita Skeeter is an angel. She's a cherub throwing confetti in your face at this point, you know? Like, she's harmless. She's as harmless as a bug, you know? I'm sorry. I'm a fan. I'm still a fan. I don't know if I stopped being a fan. I think I just gave up because I got sick of you guys all hating me for it.
Well, I'm actually kind of glad to hear you say that, Josh.
Okay.
Because that's going to play in very well to our giveaway later on.
Oh, yes. Now you have me excited.
Awesome.
Yeah. You had my attention. Now you have my curiosity, my friend. I just loved it. I loved the banter. I loved Rita being Rita full on. She has the quick quotes quill. She's doing her thing. She's a little bit more humble. Little bit. Mainly because of Hermione.
Yep.
Hermione is definitely controlling the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all things considered, I'm happy to have Rita Skeeter back in this series. There we go.
All right. You said it.
Okay. That's chapter 25, folks.
That was.
Ended much better than last week's reading, I'll tell you that much. Stupid professor. Before we get into emails, which I'm sure will be lovely this week.
Yep.
Not going to be as good as next week, so I can tell you that much. Let's check in with the Muggle Poll, shall we?
We shall.
The Muggle Poll is put up on our Twitter accounts at TalesFromGH. Goes up approximately 4 p.m. Pacific time of the day of recording this episode. It always ties into the reading that we do for the week. Matt comes up with a question, gives us some choices. We all get to vote on it. Basically gives us a glimpse as to what you guys, the listeners out there, feel about things that we're learning about. What's the fantastic question that you came up with this week, Matt?
Well, this week, to be perfectly honest, had a little trouble, but came up with something anyway.
Sure.
And we got a few names. As you mentioned, you thought some of them were new names, but
Yep.
No, not quite.
Right.
But I want to know who has got the best evil name.
Mm-hmm.
Which one sounds the most evil?
Yeah.
And so I gave you Antonin Dolohov, Augustus Rookwood, Bellatrix Lestrange, and the infamous Gilderoy Lockhart.
I'm going to say, just because I got the heebie-jeebies and my skin crawled the first time I ever heard his name, I definitely have to give it to the professor that shall not be named.
As I knew you would.
Yeah. What do the people out there think, though?
The people, 59% of them went with Bellatrix, which I'm not surprised with.
Sure.
Thankfully, the next big chunk, 29, went for Dolohov. It's probably where I would go to. Those like Eastern European, Russian type names.
Sure.
They're always good for evil.
Yeah. Unfortunately, especially here in the States, that is perpetually and has been for decades. Since
That's
the Cold War.
Go-to villain.
Yeah. Which isn't necessarily fair, but that's something.
No, I'm not saying it's true. Yeah. It's just, you go to Hollywood and we need a villain. How about a Russian?
Yeah. Look at all the big action movies and.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. I will say, though, I don't know if I've ever trusted anybody named Augustus.
Yeah. Augustus Gloop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wouldn't trust him.
Yeah. Just not a name that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy, so...
Sure.
That's a solid choice as well. I feel like the Bellatrix Lestrange, I feel like everybody went that direction, potentially because you all know how evil these people may be.
Sure. And that's the struggle we're always going to have with these polls, is people pulling from future knowledge, and
a little bit biased, a little bit. See, the real poll question this week should have been, how much do you love Rita Skeeter? A lot, super so much, or so much I can't even vote on this poll because I can't stop thinking about how much I love Rita Skeeter.
All right. Maybe next week.
Thank you all for participating in that and having fun. Even though it was kind of a tough week for Muggle Poll, we got it done. We did it collectively. And thank you all for playing along. Let's do it, Matt. Let's do some emails, shall we?
We shall.
All right.
First email from...
Hold on.
Yes.
Emails could always be sent in to talesfromgodrichollow@gmail.com regarding last week's episode, regarding this week's reading, regarding anything you want to talk about.
You got it.
Just throwing that out there. In case we don't remind you enough where to email. First one.
Yes. First one comes from Emily.
Hi, Emily.
And sorry, there's a picture.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about another picture I have to send you. So
sure.
Says, I am a tad tardy on finding this podcast, but I'm glad I did. Currently, I'm on episode 25.
Okay.
So a little behind right now, but she'll hear this eventually.
Last week's episode is going to delay that way too much.
As a lifelong Harry Potter fan, I am elated and sentimental about taking this journey with you all. I have laughed out loud and talked back while listening. I feel for Josh when I know something is coming he won't like, or when he hopes for something in the movies and I know it won't be there.
She'll be pleasantly surprised by the time she gets to this episode when I've just given up all hope that anything good will be in the movies.
Fair enough. Much praise for Matt and his ability to guide while holding the auditory poker face.
Mm-hmm.
I must say I'm quite invested. I am following on Instagram. I created a Twitter for the sole purpose of following the show. And I listen almost every day in an attempt to catch up. Slight perk about being behind is not having to wait for new episodes.
Just wait. Don't wait. Just wait.
Eventually you'll catch up, and yeah, you'll be like everybody else. Let's see. We got an iTunes review. It says, it should be mentioned that I too am a Hufflepuff. And lately, according to where I'm in the podcast, Josh has been saying that almost everyone says their favorite book is the third. Mine is not. My favorite book is the fourth. We had a couple of those eventually, I think, too, pop up.
I totally understand it.
Yep. My copy is falling apart, and I may have to get a new one for reading purposes while keeping the old one for nostalgic ones. That was the first book I went to a midnight release party for, stood in line, and paid for myself.
Ooh.
I was 8.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Okay.
A couple of questions. Will you be including Cursed Child in your podcast? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah, we could stop there for now.
Yep, I think that's the plan.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that before.
Unless something drastically changes.
Yeah, we'll get to it eventually. I think, yeah, it's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
If we do it right after we finish the series, or if we wait a bit, and we'll talk about it down the road.
Yeah. We have been cautioned by enough people that it's not their favorite piece of content, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's still on our radar.
Yep. And then she wants to know about some of the other books, like the textbooks, or Tales of Beedle Bard, or even Fantastic Beasts movies. So, yes. Yeah, we'll definitely be covering all of that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of when, really.
Yeah. We need to get through all this nonsense first before we can get to the real good stuff.
Yeah. That's about it from Emily.
Okay. So she wasn't the one that included a picture that you needed to see?
She did. And now I'm trying to remember. I read about this somewhere. I remember reading about this week, but I'm not seeing it in the email, actually. Why? Oh, never mind. It was in that. It's in when she talked about the iTunes review. That's why.
Oh, okay.
It's a picture of a trunk, and I'll send it to you here.
Okay.
That she upcycled for her nephew, I think it was.
Okay.
So yeah, it's one of those things, like, I could never. I'd never have the time and patience to do
that's
stuff
cool.
like this. But yeah, I mean, it essentially looks like a trunk you would expect a Hogwarts student to be taking.
Yeah,
with them on the train.
That's really cool.
It's awesome.
I'm guessing the AM are the initials for the nephew.
That was my guess as well.
Okay.
I don't have the name of the nephew, so I can't tell you for sure.
Sure.
But I would assume so.
Well, in about a year, when Emily catches up to this, she could respond back and let us know.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Emily.
Yeah, definitely.
Welcome aboard this crazy train of ours.
Yeah. So, next email then is one of many from our headmistress, Mel B.
Hi, Mel B.
She says, "Hi guys, I'm at work, but I wanted to send this before I forget next week." So she's gonna answer for us last week we questioned our big question of the week, I think, was what's up with having a ground floor and a first floor?
Ah, yes.
In the same building.
The age-old question.
So, I know you saw some of these responses. We got some replies on Twitter throughout the week. Multiple people talking about it.
Yeah.
We also got a number of emails about this, so I'm not going to read all of them. I apologize if I don't read yours, but they all basically said the same thing.
Okay.
And I'll just read hers and then we can talk about it some more.
Okay.
Mel says, in Australia we have the ground floor or the ground level, then going up is first, second, third, etc. If there's a basement, we have basement 1, basement 2, etc. In the elevator, it'll be listed as like B2, B1, G, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Says, I lived in an apartment that was a split level, the split level ground floor, so it actually had 2 ground floors.
Weird.
Yeah. The elevator on either side had ground 1 in the back of the elevator opened and you go out to the gym or pool area, and ground 2, which was listed as a lobby, will let you out the front of the doors to the main lobby. Yeah, that really doesn't make sense. You can't have 2 ground floors.
What are you guys doing over there in Australia? It doesn't even make sense.
In any case, the general consensus was having ground floor, first floor is quite common. But someone even referenced the wiki article on stories with an E, Storey, the nice British spelling. And they talk about numbering of different levels then. And it specifically says in Europe and many other countries, it is common to have ground floor, first floor. However, in the US and Canada, this is not a common thing. So, once again, it's going to be like our numberings. Like, we don't use the imperial system.
Right.
Or, no, we do use the imperial. Sorry, I can't talk. Yes, we don't use the metric system. There we go. Right, the rest of the world does. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. Growing up ignorant in the U.S. here, like we don't do the ground floor, first floor thing.
Right.
But seemingly everybody else does. So that's why it's confusing for us, but not for everybody else, and not for the people over in Britain where this book was written.
Yep.
So,
thank you, Melby. And thank you to everybody that responded with that.
Yeah, definitely. I like we stated last week, we wanted to learn, and we definitely did. So thank you for all the responses.
Sometimes we're just dumb Americans.
So yeah, we'll hear more from Mel later, but with her regular email.
Perfect.
This week we got another email from Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
It says, Dear Matt and Josh, he doesn't think there's anything too spoilers in here, but yeah, he let me look through it first. It says, I've been listening for many months, and I think your podcast is fantastic. It fills a void in the Potter podcast verse of a seasoned veteran and a total noob, which means there is detailed analysis and knowledge and sheer joy of discovery all at the same time. Truly, this is a novel approach and one I absolutely love. I wanted to send a quick note because today is special. He sent this in, of course, on the magical September 1st.
I'm sorry about the pain of this day.
No, you're going to like this one, Josh. He says, so there is a thing Pottermore launched on September 1st.
Okay.
Which unfortunately has a ton of spoilers.
Of course it does.
But there is one thing he found that he knew you would enjoy, and he sent an image of it along, so you can take note.
Okay, let's see. Let's open this up. What?
So, what are you looking at, Josh?
It's the squid.
There you go. They have not forgotten.
I'm so happy.
The squid is still there. So for anyone else that's wondering, I believe if you just go to pottermore.com/Hogwarts, I think you should be able to find everything that's out there. There's a lot to discover and read about what they put out there for this September 1st celebration. So yeah, I highly recommend. I only got to look at it for like 5 minutes, and there's just a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure some people spent all day looking at this.
This is called Here's Looking at You, Squid.
Yeah.
Description: although the giant squid has a fearsome reputation, we suspect it might have a compassionate side. When a young Dennis Creevy fell into the lake in his first year, it seemed as though the giant squid pushed him back into the boat. J.K. Rowling refers to the squid as, quote, semi-domesticated. Yeah, I love it so much. Yay, I'm so happy.
Jeff says, I hope he enjoys it. I'm a few months behind on the episodes, having switched to a total Game of Thrones rewatch and season 7 watch, and lots of podcast analysis and other total geek out activities in that wonderful fandom since May.
Sure.
But September 1st of any year, it's as good a time as any to shift back to Hogwarts. Can't wait to catch up on your podcast. I wanted to write many times in the past, and I may write more in the future, especially as we're approaching the indisputably best book in the series.
Ooh.
How's that for a controversial statement? It says Book 6, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I may elaborate on reasons for being both the best book and my personal favorite. So yeah, I will say personally, I think I've already claimed Book 3 is probably my favorite, but Book 6, it definitely takes a close second. Yeah. I think. Yeah. So okay. There are many things to look forward to in Book 6, so I can understand why you think it's the best. Cool. But I look forward to hearing more from you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good luck on the Game of Thrones.
Next email comes in from Masha.
Hi, Masha.
There were a couple things from the last episode I wanted to comment on. The word malady. You were questioning this.
Okay.
And how much it's actually used.
Okay.
Her dictionary actually lists it as less common. She says, I like to read 19th century books when the word was more common. I always enjoy finding these lesser used words in the Harry Potter books or in any good book, really. So there you go. It is a less common word, but it's out there.
Cool. Good to
know. She did also clarify ground floor and first floor for us. She's in Germany, if you don't remember.
Right.
And so they definitely do it that way there. She said, in our old company building, we had an extra level above the ground floor called the upper floor, with the elevator button marked 0. Only then, after that, you would reach the first floor, which would have been the 3rd floor in America.
Huh.
Says our colleagues from the U.S. always got lost in this building when they were visiting.
Shocking.
I can understand. Yeah. Ground floor, upper floor. What is 0?
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I like our system. It makes sense. I mean, once again, it's what I grew up with. So that's. I mean, if I grew up out there, it makes sense to me too. I'm sure.
Sure.
But. Just a great Doctor Who reference with the dummy at St. Mungo's last week. Mm-hmm. Don't blink. Mm-hmm. Santa Claus's house elves. Josh, you're the best.
I saw nobody disputing my theories there on that one. So.
She says, "Oh, they must have different rules. They don't run around in tea towels, or do they? We just think they wear clothes and funny hats."
Yeah, that's just to make them kid appropriate, you know?
She says Spew should take a look into that.
Spew has bigger problems on his hands right now.
Concerning God Rescue Mary Hippogriffs, it is on Stubby Boardman's 1977 Christmas album, Nargles We Have Heard on High. Maybe. On to the current episode. Snape. I really wonder why he became a teacher. He hates teaching. He doesn't explain things properly. He fails to recognize or appreciate that Harry is obviously interested in the matter. The best advice he gives is that Occlumency requires similar powers like resisting the Imperious Curse. Empty your mind? How? The Dursleys probably didn't send Harry to yoga lessons or autogenic training workshops. And anyway, letting someone you don't trust enter your mind, someone who hates you, how's that going to work?
Yeah. Not for the best, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. That is one thing we didn't touch on, is like, I like that comparison, is Snape had the knowledge that he did resist the Imperious Curse.
Yeah. That's true.
And, well, like she said, that's the best comparison he could have made. The best little tidbit he could have given him.
Right.
Now, did Harry use that to his advantage? Not really.
Yeah.
Not right away, at least. Like, eventually he gets to the same point where he's, like, falling over from exhaustion from trying to beat this thing. But, yeah, he doesn't seem to pick up on it quite as quickly.
Yep.
But at least now we know there's something going on at the Ministry of Magic. Confirmed later when we hear about Bode's suspicious death. But, of course, this is book 5, and we can't get even slightly optimistic without some proper downers. Voldemort's happy about something. A bunch of Death Eaters escape from Azkaban, and among them, of course, Bellatrix Lestrange. I can't even imagine what it must be like for Neville. He barely talks, practices so hard with the DA, and actually improves. Does he do it out of fear so he can defend himself? Or does he want to avenge his parents? I wish he would talk to someone.
Yeah.
He's in a tough spot. And, unfortunately, not too many people know what's going on with him. I mean, now the trio does, so that's nice. But
right, yeah.
Still, they're not really doing anything about it.
Yeah, and he's not going to talk to them.
Nope. To me, the best thing about the disaster is that is Harry's Valentine's Day date are the absurd little confetti-throwing cherubs. Good thing it didn't occur to Madame Putterfoot to have them throw glitter. Thank
Glitter
you.
bomb.
Yes. No. Glitter is the worst.
It is. It's horrible.
And annoying as glitter, Rita Skeeter.
What?
That's what she says. But Hermione seems to know very well what she's doing. I love it how she and Luna teamed up behind everyone's back. Whether the interview will be helpful and improve the situation is actually another thing. I wanted to end this long email with this. Josh, before you say again, we should have warned you about whatever the next thing might be. Could you please tell us how we should do that? I don't think tweeting, "You're gonna hate the spoiler in the upcoming episode" will cut it. Any hints, suggestions?
Look, maybe just not pretending like everything's okay. You know, just saying, Josh, be prepared for next week's reading. It's going to suck. It's going to suck big time. You know, at least I could go in and think, I'm ready for this.
But you see, then people are going to start interpreting things differently, and they're going to start telling you that every week, and then it's not going to have the same effect.
That's true, because this week everybody would have said, Josh, somebody from your past is going to come back and it's going to really suck. And then I'll be reading this whole thing, and then I'll be done with it, and I'll say, you guys all led me down the wrong path, because this is the best thing that's happened in weeks in this book.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, don't do anything and just let me yell at you every week. That's the best solution.
Step away from the situation. Let Cho do her own thing.
That's right.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Next email. This is the main email from our headmistress, Mel B.
Hello once again, Mel B.
Says, hey, Matt and Josh, so much going on in this book at the moment. I've decided to try and keep my email short by only focusing on one thing. So, this week I'm focusing on my favorite character, or Sirius.
Oh.
I would be going mad if I was confined to my house with only a wretched old house elf to keep me company.
Yeah.
And Snape tormenting him is so mean. Loads of people say that Sirius is childish and immature. But can we look at Snape here? He's taunting Sirius about how he's a coward and staying in the house and not doing anything useful. And just remember that this is all because they didn't get along in school. Poor Sirius. He deserves better than what he has.
Yeah. No?
Yeah. Yeah. Snape being Snape.
Snape being Snape. Unfortunately. I could have sworn Melby's favorite character was Rita Skeeter.
No. I don't think anyone has said that. Except maybe you.
That's possible.
Got an email here from... I'm going to slaughter the name probably. It looks like Roger, but it has an I in it. So
let's just stick with Roger.
Says, hi, Josh and Matt. I'm a longtime listener. I'm in Suriname.
Where is that?
South America.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
It says there is a thing. It is a thing at our hospital called the ground floor. Has the ground first, second, third, etc. Not sure, but it could be a European thing. I definitely think it is. Suriname is influenced by the Dutch. We were a Dutch colony. And he says, also, Fortnite is frequently used in Suriname, but we use a Suranan version, the most spoken native language in Suriname.
Okay.
Yeah. So
cool.
There you go. That European influence once again.
Yeah.
That's why we get this stuff down in Australia too. So once again, it's a common thing, just not in the US.
How is Suriname spelled?
Suriname.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah. I'm just looking at a map.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd just like to know where people are from.
Yeah. Next email comes in from Joe.
What's up, Joe?
Says, hey guys, just a few quick thoughts from last week. Josh was a little overly critical of Tonks's present of the mini firebolt that would fly around, but I think it was genius. I'm wondering if Harry could have used an Engorgio charm to make it bigger and fly around on it. Now, I'm sure it wouldn't be as good as his real firebolt, but it'd be better than nothing. And when he's done, he could shrink it back down and put it in his pocket. Yeah, I don't know if it'd work that well. I kind of get the idea that like this broom kind of flew around on its own.
Yeah,
so even if you like enlarge it, it would just like start bumping into things.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how much fun that would be.
Yeah. I like the way
but it's a nice thought.
Yeah.
Says you guys spoke a lot about Santa last week, mainly because Josh needed something happy to distract him.
You caught on to that, huh, Joe?
Yeah. But I don't believe Santa exists in the Wizarding World. Yes, we do see all the presents at the end of the beds, but we never see one addressed from Santa. It's always attached with the name of the person who sent it. So I don't think Santa has any special elves or visits any wizards at Christmas. I think that's only a Muggle thing. Just my 2 cents. So, you see, it's rough because, yeah, the presents aren't from Santa. They don't ever mention Santa in that respect.
Right.
But I think the reason you brought it up is they mentioned that they put Father Christmas hats on the house elves.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to my knowledge, Father Christmas and Santa are essentially the same.
Right.
Different cultures.
And also, let's be real, I mean, Santa could still exist in the wizarding world. Maybe Santa just doesn't deliver presents to the wizards and witches because they're like, they wouldn't see that as being as awesome as us Muggles do, you know?
Yeah, they have magic for their own. They don't need it.
It'd be like, okay, God, man, Santa, leave us alone already, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just stay out of our chimney, Santa. We need this. Whereas us Muggles are like, this is the best day of the entire year, you know?
Yes. Like we kind of mentioned, like we think Santa would have a different form of magic, basically.
Right. I mean, let's be real. Like, this is the one time when us Muggles
get to experience the magic.
Not only experience, but, like, fully 100% believe in and commit to the idea that magic exists. Sure. So if Santa's, like, off distracting every Muggle in the world with, like, his brand of magic, the wizards are kicking back doing their own thing without having to worry about Muggles at all for a day.
Yeah.
It's a symbiotic relationship that they have. So just because Santa isn't delivering gifts to the kids at Hogwarts doesn't mean that he doesn't exist in the wizarding world. It just means he has other things to do.
Fair enough.
And what could he possibly give them that's going to be as cool as what their friends and family could give them themselves?
Yes, the wizards don't need little wooden. Well,
yeah, here's a little toy train.
You could give the whole bag of presents to Mr. Weasley. He would love it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he continues, I knew that Josh didn't like Lockhart, but I never knew how deep his hatred for him went. It seems like he dislikes Lockhart more than Umbridge, Voldy, and Snape. I guess we shouldn't spoil the fact that Umbridge and Lockhart eventually meet up and get married. Now on to these chapters. I forgot that Snape was part of the Order and knew where Grimmauld Place was, so my reaction was very similar to Harry's, realizing that Snape had come to visit him. Harry must be thinking, how could this year possibly get any worse? On top of everything that's already happened, now he has to take extra classes with Snape. I don't blame him for dreading going back to Hogwarts. Yeah, that was a first.
Yeah.
As smart as Snape is, you'd think he would know that it'd make things so much easier if he wasn't so sarcastic and obnoxious. He knew Sirius wouldn't hesitate to fight him, so why start trouble? Deliver your message and leave.
Snape don't care, that's why.
Yeah, but I mean that's Snape. That part of the reason I mentioned that is like I think he would have been okay starting a fight.
Yeah,
it's that old school rivalry, and I think Snape has the confidence that he thinks he could take Sirius, no problem.
Right.
So he would love to fight him.
Yeah, just give me a reason,
Yep.
Totally.
I didn't realize that you can take the night bus to Hogwarts, or technically Hogsmeade. I bet Harry wished he knew that in year 2 instead of taking the flying car. It's a good question. Why didn't the night bus show up then? They were more stranded than any other time.
Right.
They could have jumped on the night bus. It also seems like a quicker way than taking the Hogwarts Express to get there. Yes and no. I think we probably time jumped a little bit since like they were the only ones on the bus.
Yeah.
As opposed to the train full of students. But yeah, it can potentially get faster. It doesn't have to stay on the tracks.
Sure. It's true.
Harry was asking all the right questions to Snape, and I'm surprised Snape gave Harry answers, which also gave us a lot to digest. Why does Snape think that Harry is going to do well with Occlumency on his first couple of tries? It's obviously an advanced piece of magic. There's no way to expect Harry to fight it off in his first class.
Oh,
and that's...
I mean, he learned the Patronus really quick, so...
But not in his first class.
No, that's true.
But,
also, he sucks at potions, so Snape should also know that he's, Yeah.
I would once again go back to what Snape compared it to with the Imperious Curse. And that he was able to fight off in his first class. Took him like 3 tries, but it was in his first class yet.
Yeah. That's true.
And Snape referenced that right away. It's so like he knew that it happened.
Yeah.
So we find out that the door in Harry's dream is to the Department of Mysteries, which we know nothing about. Seems like anything could be in there. Like, how many mysterious things do you think you can find in the Wizarding world? I'd say the whole world is a mystery.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a door, it just opens to the outside.
Hey, look, another mystery. Mass breakout at Azkaban of the 10 of the deadliest people in the world. and Fudge still can't see what's going on. No wonder Voldemort's happy. Everything seems to be falling into place. I could not be happier to hear that Neville is progressing so well in the DA meetings, especially for him to learn something almost as quickly as Hermione. That was quite the feat.
Mm-hmm.
And we get another surprising return of a lovely individual in Rita Skeeter.
Yes.
Hermione is now blackmailing people. Where's the real Hermione? It is a pretty clever idea, though. But I don't think being published in the Quibbler is going to do anything for Harry's credibility. Rita publishing a story in the Quibbler, quite ironic. She can't be too happy about it, other than the fact that her name will once again be talked about by everyone for breaking a story.
Yep. She loves it.
Yep, and that's what Hermione's counting on, I think. Next email comes from another Joe.
What's up, other Joe?
Says, hi, Josh and Matt. I'm thrilled to finally caught up. I didn't quite manage it in the week that some people seem to have, but I've been listening a lot since summer school let out. I'm sad to have to wait for each episode now, but we'll be quite busy as all the kids are back tomorrow.
Nice.
One of the things I've enjoyed most about hearing some of the subtle differences in the language and you guys, your guys' confusion over things like fortnights and ground floors, which don't give off any reaction from a Brit. It's true. Like I said, if it's normal every day to you, yeah, you don't think about it. But it's something I'd never considered here. You and Josh might enjoy this Sporkle quiz. It says it's based off the Philosopher's Stone. So even though you claim to haven't read that book, it's still spoiler-free.
Never even heard of that book.
Uh-huh. I can send you the link later.
Okay.
One thing I was wondering about is I'll say it here, skeeving snack boxes.
Okay.
You keep pronouncing them skeeving. I was wondering if it's actually written differently, because in the UK it's pronounced skiving. It's a word we use for truanting, and I wasn't sure if this was a thing in the US. So, have you seen this word, Josh?
I've not seen it in print. No.
Okay, so it's skiving.
Okay. Yeah, skeeving.
You see, that's what I've always gone with.
Yeah.
The more I looked into it, it does seem to be that skiving is probably the correct pronunciation. I've just been saying it wrong.
But I've heard of things being skeevy before.
Exactly, and that's what I was going for.
Yeah. So I think that's an American pronunciation.
Do you think it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because I've never heard skiving or skive or something skivey.
So when I looked it up, I definitely found a lot of skive and skiving. Mm-hmm. Listen to a couple of YouTube videos, the Google pronunciation, they all say skiving or skive.
Right.
So, I mean, you're definitely not wrong, Joe, but I've never heard it that way, and I've never even thought about pronouncing it that way, I guess.
Yep.
So, maybe it's another American thing, I guess. I will probably try to say skiving from now on, but I will undoubtedly slip into skeeving from time to time.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Thank you for bringing that up, though.
Yep.
Like I said, we like learning. Says, on another note, in my experience, can't speak for others, Santa left presents at the foot of the bed, but family put them under the tree.
Okay. I believe
so.
That.
There you go. I guess there is something to the foot of the bed type of thing going on.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Next email then comes from Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
Says, Dear Josh and Matt, happy September.
Woo!
I'm so,
How about that
so jealous
1st, huh?
of the Wizards at Hogwarts this year. They got to start their term off with a weekend. I bet they spent it by the lake feeding the squid or playing wizard chess.
True.
Do you suppose that in wizarding chess, if your pieces aren't able to beat the opposing team's piece, like Harry's castle seemed to be struggling with Ron's pawn, the piece is safe? Or is the fight just a rather savage bonus?
That's a good question, because then like you dip into like how good your pieces are compared to somebody other piece, and then it's not a game of skill, then it's just a game of who has better pieces. Which,
well, you see, and that's the thing. Like the first time we ran across it, like the pieces, if they understood you, if they trusted you, they would be more likely to obey your commands. But I've always kind of wondered that too. It's like, so they go in there and they fight, but is the outcome going to be the same based on the rules of the game, or is the outcome based on the outcome of the fight?
Right.
Like, it seems weird. Like, I like the idea, but there's questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definite questions.
Like Godfather, like Godson, Snape's effect on our dear Marauder is easily duplicated with Harry. Why would Snape deliberately anger Harry while he attempts to teach him to block and control his emotions? Is Ron right in suspecting the potions master, or do we trust Dumbledore? Either way, this year, alone with Umbridge's detentions and Snape's... it's not even written Dumbridge this time.
Yes.
This year alone with Umbridge detentions and Snape lessons, Harry must have enough pain for the absolute worst migraine of all time. Now on to the lesson itself. We see Snape casting a spell using Legilimency on Harry, but in Fantastic Beasts, Queenie seems to rely solely on eye contact and/or concentration. Are there natural-born Legilimens? Is she performing wandless magic? So I think we kind of touched on that in the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are definitely natural borns. And so, yeah, she has the ability to do it differently from what we see Snape doing.
Right.
So another Azkaban breakout, and not a Dementor in sight. Fudge better be off somewhere eating his bowler hat. Which Death Eater could be the new number 2, since Barty Jr. croaked? My money's either on the brutal murderer Dolohov or the maniacal torturer Lestrange. From breakouts to potential breakup, will Harry be able to salvage this year's long crush? We'll need Hermione to explain his screw-ups, it seems. She's got so much on her plate already, using a rusty reporter and a quirky magazine to bring the truth to the people. And we can't forget about her knitting. If anyone can make it work, it's our bushy-haired genius.
That's true.
Yeah. Next email from our second headmistress, Marissa.
What's up, Marissa?
Says, hey guys, so the game was fun. I tweeted a few pictures to you, but they had a couple trivia breaks throughout the game. And one of them was a quote, and they got the answer wrong.
Whoa.
The entire time it was on the scoreboard, I kept saying, none of these people said it. It was serious. And they had the answer as Snape. I can tell you why it was. It's because of the movie. But I was very disappointed.
As you should be.
She says, but the home team won, so it all worked out, I guess.
There we
go. Question.
Answer.
Does Josh now have Val show him the illustrations at the start of the chapters? I know they can sometimes give hints on what's going to come, but maybe she can show them after the chapter, or if you don't want to ruin anything, even after they're done reading altogether. Just a thought so you don't miss anything more.
Pretty much when anybody says, like Matt, hey, you should go back and check that sketch out, then we'll go back and check it out. But at the time, no, it's not something that she doesn't show me, definitely doesn't show me beforehand, and when we're done reading, it's not something I think about, so.
There you go.
Yep.
Creature is super suspect. Not that Sirius is concerned. He's more interested in being a moody teenager. No wonder him and Harry get along so well. They both love to sulk.
True. True.
Yeah. So it looks like Harry does have an issue with his mind being invaded by Voldy. But why all of a sudden are they going to do these lessons? What's changed? He's seen into what Voldy's doing before. Why is this important now? And an extra lesson with Snape sounds nothing less than absolute torture. Also, does Snape ever use Harry's first name?
No, he always calls him Potter, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure, like, even when he's at Grimmauld Place and he's talking with Sirius and the Weasleys and stuff, like, he always references Potter.
Yeah.
He's talking to Dumbledore, he references Potter.
It's a power move.
Yeah. Night bus. That poor Madame Marsh. You'd think she'd find a different way to travel, since every time we see her on there, she's sick from the motion of the bus.
I feel like she's just perpetually on that bus. Like, she doesn't get off.
Except we see her get dropped off.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, though, she's just that, sweet old lady who can't drive a car anymore, and so she's probably not to be trusted with a broom or apparating or anything like that.
Right.
And so the bus is her transportation, and she needs to go get groceries or something. Like, the bus, that's what the bus is there for. That's just what she's left with, and it's unfortunate that, it makes her sick.
Yeah, she's always stranded.
Yes. Harry, you are so dumb. Maybe he should have tried to get some girl advice from Sirius. Or, actually taken Hermione's whole speech to heart. Dumb 15-year-old boy.
Yep.
Department of Mysteries. What does Josh make of that revelation that Harry has been dreaming about, and that Mr. Weasley was guarding the night he was attacked?
Nothing yet. I mean, it's all just a mystery. It's a mystery in a mystery in a mystery behind a door of mysteries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
The happiest he's been in 14 years. Well, that can't be good, can it? And there you have it. Not good at all.
Yeah.
Poor Lee Jordan, being punished for being a smart aleck. I bet that makes Josh hate Umbridge even more, if that's possible.
I don't want to think about it too much because it's just going to upset me. And I didn't want to be too upset on this episode, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, he does have a mouth on him. I mean, we know this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's bound to get him in trouble.
Again, Harry, you are so dumb. I get that he didn't want to talk about Cedric, but he was a bit tactless in how he handled everything with Cho at the tea shop. Like, by the way, I need to meet Hermione in the middle of our date. That's cool, right? It bothered him how Cho talked about Roger asking her out. It's the same thing, buddy. Other than that, I did find it weird that they drank coffee. Didn't you guys discuss last week about the prevalence of tea in British culture? We did.
Yeah. I mean, they talked about getting coffee, but it was definitely a tea house.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Drink of choice, I guess. I still think that should have gotten a butterbeer.
Yeah, I don't know. They wouldn't have had that fight. Everything would have been great.
Yep.
It's coffee's problem. Coffee's fault.
Yep.
Yeah.
Blame the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
All of Josh's favorite characters are making an appearance in this book. I think that was said sarcastically. I think she'll be surprised. Time for Rita to take Harry's story. I want to read the conversation between Hermione and Luna, asking Luna's dad to publish Harry's story.
Yeah.
Seeing as Hermione hardcore insulted the magazine at the start of the term, and her and Luna have only butted heads on stuff. But maybe I'll do my own short fanfic about it.
Also, can we talk about how Luna was just off in her own world up until she was being talked to?
Yes.
She was singing the
Weasley's our
song.
king.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's just sitting there just that girl.
She got that catchy little tune stuck in her head, not really thinking about what it is or what it says. Oh, yeah.
Just cracks me up.
Mm-hmm. So good. Let's see. Next email comes from one of our younger fans.
All right.
Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Let's see. Word of advice, Ryan. splitting things into more than one paragraph makes it infinitely easier for me to read. I'll just put that out there.
Sure. It takes a while to get that.
Oh yeah, I understand. I fully understand. He's still in school, still learning these things. My one piece of advice.
Yep.
Paragraphs are appreciated. It says this week's chapters are okay. The bad part of it was Harry describing how bad Hogwarts was going to be. We don't need more references of Dumbridge for nothing. For the record, he did type Dumbridge.
Nice.
Harry and Ron's chess game is cool too. Squashing a pawn. I wish we had wizard chess. So then we get Snape. We learn that Dumbledore wants Harry to take Occlumency. Guess he's watching out for Harry after all. But poor Harry. Extra lessons with Snape. Then we get Sirius standing up for Harry. Mr. Weasley is cured. I wonder if Mr. Weasley found out about shots. Do you think wizards probably... I mean... That probably is more of a Muggle thing, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because, like, we see them, like, drinking potions.
Right.
And using spells and stuff, but... Yeah, I guess...
Injecting something into
there hasn't been a syringe in sight.
Yeah, probably for the best.
But yeah, Mr. Weasley would definitely be interested. Harry gets a mystery package from Sirius. Josh, do you have any theories about what's in the package? We didn't talk about that.
Oh, we didn't, huh?
No.
It's something that allows him to communicate with Sirius. It's probably something that we don't know exists, like, in the realm of the wizarding world. Maybe it's like a little personal space heater type of thing. You know how you have, like, those little portable fireplaces? Maybe it's like a little miniature version. So that Harry could stick his head in there, Flu Network style. Pop out. No, that's totally not right. Yeah, I have no idea.
I just say, use your imagination.
Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't really much detail or anything to go off of other than...
No, there wasn't. And that, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you just had some idea that popped in your head, that'd be awesome. But
yeah,
there you go. Portable fireplace.
There we go. Yep.
Let's see. And this is why I like paragraphs, because I completely lost my place. We got another educational decree.
Okay.
But at least Lee Jordan can have some fun with it.
All right.
It's true. Hermione wants to see Harry at Hogsmeade. Wonder what that can be about. But he has to go out with Cho first. They talk about Quidditch and visit the tea shop. Anything related to Dumbridge should be banned. That can be her next decree.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah. I don't think she's going to write it, though. Let's see. And finally, we learned that Luna's dad is agreeing to publish a true story written by Rita, but that's the end of the chapter. I don't know if that counts as muggle baiting or not. After you mentioned the Hagrid spin-off movie, I took it upon myself to make the trailer. Still needs some editing, but I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
So, we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if you get that edited, send it our way. So thank you, Ryan.
I'm curious. Yeah, thank you.
Next email comes from Atari Alex.
What's up, Alex?
It says, Dear Josh and Matt, as I alluded to a couple of weeks ago, I recently left my home state of Texas and moved 1,600 miles to the northern wasteland known as New York. While I was sad to leave my friends and family, there was one thing I was excited about. My new school has a Quidditch team.
Oh.
I was looking forward to meeting new people, getting some good exercise, and possibly one day competing in the World Cup. But you know what first-year law students don't have time for? Basically anything fun. Especially Muggle versions of magical sports. So now, in addition to having the same birthday, Harry and I also share the fact that we can't play Quidditch and just do homework all the time. Except I can't do magic.
You're not believing in yourself, Alex.
Anywho, I only have one thing I want to address from last week's show, but it's pretty important. On the last episode, Josh coined a new phrase that irritated me to my core for reasons that I myself don't understand. I get why Josh wants to mock Professor Umbridge, Dolores Umbridge.
Don't give her the professor title. Stop it. You guys are enabling her.
Dolores Umbridge is many things. She's twisted, selfish, hateful, spiteful, prejudiced, and generally awful as a human being. I don't think you could find a single person who's read the books and can defend her actions as anything other than sadism. But despite her numerous flaws, she is not, however, dumb. She's crafty and treacherous, and I think denying her intelligence with a punny name does a disservice to the audience by downplaying her role as the primary antagonist of the story. Like I said, I recognize that this insult bothers me at an irrational degree, and I may be the only one who feels this way, but I would like for Josh to stop saying it. Josh, I know you, and have heard our differences in the past, and you don't owe me anything, but I'm asking you as a favor. Just call her Umbridge.
No, here's the thing. Calling her Dumbridge is not a slight on her intelligence. It has nothing to do with her intelligence. It's the fact that this character is dumb in general, and I hate her.
All right.
This is basically like a Yo Mama reference. Like, you're not actually talking about the person's mom, but you know it just insults them to levels that you can't fully explain.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now that I've got that off my chest, let's talk about the present. The plot of this book is moving along slowly but surely. We get to learn about Occlumency, which I've always found very awkward to pronounce. Thank you, Alex. Even in my own head. Then we learn about Legitimacy, which Josh already knew about for a change. Though we see what we see here is pretty different than the way it was presented in Fantastic Beasts, which we talked about.
Yeah.
I won't say anything about the Harry Cho relationship because it seems like every time I do, I just make myself look worse. I will say, however, that their first date was about as awkward as my first date with my wife. Although I will give myself some credit that she didn't end up in tears at the end.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we get the reintroduction of our other least favorite character in the series, Rita Skeeter. Hermione's schemes usually work out pretty well, but Rita is a wild card. The last thing Harry needs is another media scandal.
You guys aren't seeing the bigger picture here. They're playing the long game.
All right.
Yeah.
And finally, as I mentioned, one last email from our headmistress, Mel B.
Hi, Mel B.
I believe this is right after she got the Muggle notes for this week, which sent out right before the show.
Sure.
Quick one-liner. Okay, yes. We all love Rita in a love-to-hate kind of way. Umbridge, we just hate.
Exactly. You can't even
there you go.
Begin to compare the two.
You have one friend, Josh.
Thank you, Mel B. Thank you. It's no longer a one-man crusade to save the reputation of our dear friend Rita Skeeter.
Yes.
You guys just don't want to admit it. I know you guys out there appreciate her as a character as much as I do. I just, again, unless there's something horrible coming in the pipeline that I have no clue about, which is very possible, and you guys are just playing your cards closely and not showing your hand, kudos if that's the case. Other than that, I see no reason to be so hateful towards this woman. Just throw that out there. Great emails this week, guys. I say that every week, but every week it's true. You guys kill it. Absolutely kill it. I love it. Tales from Godric's Hollow, gmail.com.
You got it.
Matt, let's wrap up here with a giveaway.
Do it.
You've already teased it once this episode,
Yep.
And I'm super excited to find out. Next week, we will be giving away a prize of some sort. Matt, what is that prize?
All right. The prize this week is another t-shirt.
Okay.
So, we sell shirts on our store.
I've heard the rumblings on the internet about that.
talesfromgodricshollow.com/shop.
Mm-hmm. Or store. Go store.
I'm going to have to make that URL now just in case people go there.
No, because I'm going to screw it up every time, so you might as well.
Yeah. In any case, we are going to be adding one more shirt to that collection.
Okay.
But everybody likes to win it before they can buy it, right?
Yes.
So, this week we are giving away a shirt based on something you said many moons ago.
Okay.
Do you remember a rather infamous tweet you sent out in regards to your favorite character, Rita Skeeter?
Was it last week?
No.
Then definitely not. No, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a 2-word phrase that you tweeted out on this picture of Rita Skeeter.
Okay.
And I'm sending you a picture now.
I'm super nervous about this. Yes! That's so good! Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The phrase, for those of you who haven't been able to pull it out of the air yet, simply misunderstood.
Yes.
I will for sure be linking to that tweet if I can find it, so you can see the original. But we had a shirt designed around this phrase.
Man, that was a firestorm when I tweeted that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoy that, Josh.
Oh, I do.
This is all for you. Yeah.
Is it only in green?
Currently, but I could probably I haven't actually printed anything yet. So
okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I've been struggling to decide what to actually put it on.
Sure.
So
I mean, green was kind of her color.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we started there.
It just it kind of freaks me out because it's a little too close to Slytherin for me, but
Well, we'll talk about it and we can figure something out.
Yeah. The green works fine. It makes sense for the character.
Yeah, I'll put pictures of the shirt out there, and pre-orders for the shirt will go up on the shop soon-ish.
Okay.
Probably this week yet.
Okay.
And I think what we're going to do kind of for all our shirts is that there will be a discount if you pre-order it.
Okay.
And after the pre-orders are done, it'll jump back up to the normal price. So
sure.
If you like it, get in early, get the discount. There you go.
Definitely. I like it. I like it a lot,
Perfect. Matt. I'm glad. I was hoping you would.
Here's the thing.
Yeah?
We need to come up with a way for somebody to win this.
We do.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do this last week. I took over that part.
No. And I tried to kind of like theme it around what we're giving away, usually.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you caught me off guard here because I didn't know what was coming.
Yep.
So this is kind of tricky, I'm not going to lie. Boy, oh boy. Let's see here. Matt, this is tough, man. This is really tough.
I know. But hey, this is your favorite character, Rita. You got to have something.
Right? You would think
you've
so.
You've had Rita on the brain I would say all week, but no. You
all
just
night.
read tonight.
All
night.
Yeah.
It's got to be something in the back of your mind. Rita is a Beetle. She likes to write.
Yes. Okay, here we go. I need everybody to send in an email.
All right.
From GodricHollow@gmail.com.
Yep.
Very simply, I need you to come up with a headline.
Ooh.
That would be written in the style of Rita Skeeter and her quick quote quill.
There you go.
Describing in some way, shape, or form my very confusing and fluid liking of Rita Skeeter.
Okay.
It's a complicated relationship that Rita Skeeter and I have. Most of the audience probably doesn't understand it or get it. I know certainly the amount of hate that I got before leads me to believe that it's a hot button topic. So come up with a headline of written by Rita in the style of Rita Skeeter, I would say. Just the headline. You don't need to write like a full article or anything like that of how I have rediscovered my complicated fascination with this character. Be witty, be funny, be whatever it is you want to be, but make it a good headline.
Okay.
Okay? Does that work?
I like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. People might be freaked out about headline writing, but let's see how this goes. There's an example in this chapter of a headline.
There is, yes.
That Rita would write. So go back, read that potential headline, and then kind of get a feel of what's going on here, and then have fun with it. Pretend like you're roasting me here. Do whatever, Get those in by next week, folks. talesfromgodric's@gmail.com.
You got it.
And remember, send them in separately than your normal weekly email. Been a few weeks since we've had to remind people of that, but, just so you know. With that being said, Matt, it's been another fine episode, my friend.
Indeed.
Not quite as long as last week.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Almost, though. Getting close.
I'll be able to speak tomorrow.
I do have to work pretty soon here. Thank you once again, Matt. And thank you
to
the listening audience for being so awesome.
Definitely.
Especially all you time travelers out there that won't hear this for another several months. Thank you as well. Even though you're not hearing this right away. You can find me personally on Twitter at The Noise with a Y. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at TalesFromGH. You can follow the Instagram accounts. That's just at Tales from Godric's Hollow. The website, of course, talesfromgodricshollow.com. Be sure to throw a slash up there and at 062 for this episode. Or you can go to /shop. Check out all the funky stuff we have available for purchase over there. And if you'd like to support us and what we're doing here for you guys, the community, and everything that we have going on, just to make this the happiest place we possibly can, be a headmistress or a headmaster, if you like the two wonderful headmistresses we have already, or support us in any way that you see fit. You can do so over at patreon.com/Tales from Godric's Hollow. Matt, where can the people find you?
You can always find me personally on Twitter at As a Matter of Matt. Otherwise, once again, emails for the show, for giveaways, whatever you want to send me. Email address is talesfromgodricshollow@gmail.com.
That's right. This has been episode 62. This has been chapters 24 and 25 of Order in the Phoenix. Next week, it's 26 and 27, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, still two chapters a week. It's good to know. Hashtag Dumbridge. Hashtag Simply Misunderstood. Hashtag Muggle out.
Mischief managed.